Welcome to CSE Prelims 2023 solutions. दोस्तों prelims exam is over and now many of you are very curious to know about your performance. The difficulty level of this year that is high in both the papers, in GS as well as in CSAT. If difficulty level is high, it means the cutoff will come down. Our experts and all teachers, they have estimated that substantially cutoff will come down, and CSAT paper is reasonably high. The difficulty level is reasonably high. Since last 4 years we are observing, year by year CSAT paper is becoming tough and GS paper is also becoming difficult. Why GS paper is difficult? That is because of change of nature of the questions. This year the eliminative questions, where you could eliminate some of the options by making proper analysis and judgment, that is not possible. इसलिए क्वेश्चन पेपर थोड़ा टफ है, बट टफ सभी के लिए है दोस्तों. अगर आपकी परफॉर्मेंस उतनी अच्छी नहीं रही तो किसी और की भी परफॉर्मेंस उतनी अच्छी नहीं होगी. सो कट ऑफ हैज़ टू कम डाउन, सो डू नॉट वरी. नेक्स्ट IAS के जो फैकल्टीज़ हैं, सीनियर फैकल्टीज़, दे आर गोइंग टू टेक अप द डिस्कशन और सभी क्वेश्चंस के प्रोबेबल आंसर्स, जो बेस्ट सॉल्यूशंस हैं, नियरेस्ट पॉसिबल आंसर्स, दे विल डिस्कस. एंड all teachers will come one by one. So before the discussion starts, I want to tell you, Next IAS provides you the best possible solution, and हमारा ये aim है कि we should give you the support as early as possible, but it should be very accurate and we should be close to the actual answer key of the UPSC. Before we start the discussion, I would also like to show you how this year Next IAS students have performed in Civil Services 2022 final result, and few of the other features of our courses which we are going to offer just in a brief. So this year Next IAS classroom student, he was enrolled in the classroom, and also then during the COVID he was transferred to the live online GS pre-cum mains batch student, and GS pre-cum mains batch student in first attempt, and on the same year 2022 he joined, and in the same year of examination he got the rank 5, Mr. Mayur. So Dr. Mayur Hajarika. Second rank candidate was an interview guidance program candidate. Third rank candidate was enrolled in the GS test series and essay guidance course and interview course. Seventh ranker student again GS test series and interview guidance program. Eighth ranker IGP. Ninth ranker essay guidance test series, GS mains advanced course and IGP. And 10th ranker Mr. Rahul. He was an electrical engineer. इनका optional था electrical engineering. He was a MEDG student earlier. He was selected in IAS also, and then enrolled in the IGP program of the Next IAS. These are in the top 10. When we see in top 20, so rank 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19. So this accounts to the 14 candidates in top 20, 7 candidates in top 10, 38 in top 50, inclusive of the all courses. किसी ना किसी स्टेज में, या तो प्रीलिम्स में या प्री प्लस मेंस में या फिर ओनली मेंस में या फिर इंटरव्यू में या फिर मेंस एंड इंटरव्यू. सो दीज आर द सपोर्ट्स गिवन बाय द नेक्स्ट IAS, एंड इन टोटल दिस टोटल नंबर विच इज 624, and this year number of vacancies were 933. So performance of the Next IAS students have been exceptional. थोड़ा और हम बात करते हैं आगे कि जनरल स्टडीज कोर्सेज वी आर ऑफरिंग, which is our main forte. Our foundation courses are the main courses. So foundation course GS and the optional foundation courses. So foundation courses batches are starting in June, 1st June, 5th June. There are the classroom courses as well as live online classes, directly live from the classroom. We have the center in Bhopal also. And there will be batches which will start in July as well as in August also. So June, July, August, there will be more batches announced in June also. So multiple batches are available at Next IAS. One can go for the classroom course, can also go for the live online classes. and there is a support system for even classroom course students. There is a online support system कि अगर कोई class miss हो जाती है तो that is there. This is first time we are starting advanced integrated mentorship program. Advanced integrated mentorship program is for the repeater students, those who have already prepared once, and this course will be very useful for the daily answer writing and test and evaluation and the mentorship and the making notes, improvement in your knowledge. So this course, mains test series going to be for GS, essay and the optional. So AIM will start on 19th of June and MTS will start on 18th of June, and the program director is Mr. Asif Anwar here. And then next courses are exclusive for the mains. Exclusive for mains advanced courses. These mains advanced courses for general studies as well as optionals. Optionals में engineering optionals हैं, electrical, mechanical, civil. Then we have for the mathematics, we have for the PSIR, sociology, anthro. So we offer the advanced courses for engineering optionals as well as for the math, political science, sociology, mathematics and so on. This is the ethics enhancer course by K.M. Pati Sir. It will be a value addition course for those who have prepared till now but they want to improve their paper 4. Essay guidance course, Ruchika ma'am is very popular in the essay guidance, so Ruchika ma'am will be taking the essay guidance course. So these are the courses which are offered. Then the optional course. Then optional we offer foundation courses for economics, geography, history, political science, mathematics, anthropology, sociology, all very renowned and experienced people. Economics by Vibhas Sir, geography by Alok Ranjan Sir, history by Hemant Jha Sir. Hemant Jha Sir is starting the history optional. Political science by Piyush Chaubey Sir, mathematics by Avinash Singh Sir, anthropology by Dr. Sudhir, sociology by Raj Roy. So these are the foundation courses are scheduled from 15th of June. We also offer the first step course for the freshers, those who are going to become, those who have completed class 12th now going in college. So freshers, this is an advanced version of the NCERT course. So first step course, this is commencing, already has commenced from May and one more batch will be commencing in the month of June and then in July. Then next we have, this is something which is very important for you, CSE Prelims Analytica. आप सोचते होंगे कि ये क्या है Analytica. This is first of its kind and a very advanced technology based on artificial intelligence and it is going to be active now. आप अपना response check कर सकते हैं. Absolute performance for your examination, what Prelims 2023 and also relative performance of your exam. So आप दूसरे स्टूडेंट्स के साथ कंपेयर कर सकते हैं कि हाउ मच यू हैव मेड करेक्ट, हाउ मच द अदर्स, किस क्वेश्चन को कितने लोगों ने अटेम्प्ट किया, किसका कौन सा आंसर ज़्यादा लोगों ने मार्क किया, फिर ओवरऑल कट ऑफ क्या होने के चांस हैं, मैक्सिमम स्टूडेंट्स आर स्कोरिंग इन विच रेंज एंड इट इज़ गोइंग टू बी रियली यूजफुल इफ़ यू want to check your performance in Civil Services Prelims 2023 GS paper. So this is very useful, very simple step. आप Next IAS के वेबसाइट से जाकर के लॉगिन करिए, अपने आंसर सबमिट करिए and check your performance in a very graphical and pictographic way, right? Now let us check कि what was the cutoff last year and how much is expected this year. तो cutoff अगर हम बात करें तो लास्ट ईयर कट ऑफ द लास्ट 3 years 2020 से लेकर के 2023 तक, राइट. इफ यू सी 2020 for 92.51 was the general cutoff, 2021 prelims 87.54 was the general cutoff, 2022 88.22 was the general cutoff. In EWS, OBC, SC and ST you can check the cutoff. This was the cutoff of the last 3 exams. लगभग 87-88 मार्क्स के आसपास रह रही है. Here for the EWS around 82 and for OBC around in the range. अब क्वेश्चन ये है कि इस बार कट ऑफ क्या होगी, what should be or what may be cut off of the सिविल सर्विस 2023 प्रीलिम्स। तो दोस्तों इस बार देयर आर टू फैक्टर्स, एक तो जीएस का पेपर अपने आप में टफ था, दूसरा सीसेट का पेपर भी टफ है। ऑन अकाउंट ऑफ दी बोथ पैरामीटर्स यू विल फाइंड दैट कट ऑफ विल बी कमिंग डाउन। तो जो हमारी नेक्स्ट आईएएस की एक्सपर्ट टीम है टीचर्स की, सभी टीचर्स का ये सोचना है कि दिस ईयर कट ऑफ इज एक्सपेक्टेड टू बी 83 प्लस माइनस 2। दिस इज व्हाट इज एक्सपेक्टेड। हमेशा कुछ वेरिएशन पॉसिबल है। लास्ट ईयर भी हम लोगों ने नेक्स्ट आईएएस ने अराउंड 87 प्लस माइनस 2 एक्सपेक्ट किया था और उसी रेंज में आया है। इस बार हम लोग एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं 83 प्लस माइनस 2 फॉर द जनरल, 78 plus minus 2 for the EWS, 81 plus minus 2 for the OBC and this. But this is expected. You should not take कि इतना ही होगा. There are several factors and parameters which can result into change in the cutoff. But the cutoff is expected to come down. And this cutoff is on account of both the regions. One, as I told, कि this one region is GS paper is difficult. And other region is CSAT paper is difficult. और GS में जो 47 questions ऐसे हैं in which you will see कि either option 1 is correct or only 2 is correct or only 3 is correct. अब यहाँ पर accurate knowledge की जरूरत है. You do not have option to eliminate the remaining options. क्योंकि जब ऐसा होता है ना 1, 2, 3 और 1, 2, 4, तो अगर आपको दो भी पता है कि ये सही है और एक पता है कि ये गलत है, तो कई बार सही आंसर जज करने में हेल्प मिलती थी, लेकिन इस बार ऐसा नहीं है। तो डिफिकल्टी लेवल हैज इंक्रीज्ड और कुछ क्वेश्चंस काफ़ी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड हैं, लेकिन कई क्वेश्चंस में बहुत डीप अंडरस्टैंडिंग की ज़रूरत है। सो दिस वी एक्सपेक्ट दैट कट ऑफ इज गोइंग टू कम डाउन। पेपर जब कोई भी टफ आता है तो सभी के लिए आता है, इसलिए दोस्तों डू नॉट बॉदर, डिफिकल्टी लेवल इज फॉर एवरीवन। एंड नाउ लेट अस सी हाउ मेनी क्वेश्चंस हैव कम फ्रॉम विच subject. So we have classified on the basis of this year 2023 and this is 2022. अगर आप दोनों को कंपेयर करें 2023 एंड 2022 को, तो 2023 में दिस ईयर इकोनॉमी 14 क्वेश्चंस, लास्ट ईयर 17, बिफोर दैट 15, मोर और लेस लगभग सेम ही है। एनवायरमेंट दिस ईयर हैज कम डाउन टू 12, लास्ट ईयर एनवायरमेंट ज़्यादा था and before that also it was 16. Geography has increased a little bit, it has gone to 16, earlier it was 8 and before that 14. History थोड़ा सा कम आया, स्पेशली इस बार मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री के क्वेश्चंस कम है। सो लास्ट ईयर इट वाज 15 क्वेश्चंस एंड दिस ईयर इट इज 13, इट हैज लिटिल बिट कम डाउन। पॉलिटी एज कंपेयर टू लास्ट ईयर इट हैज गॉन अप 12 क्वेश्चंस, बट उसके पहले 17 भी थे 2021 में। एंड when you see the science and tech, number of questions have gone up 15 and last year it was 11, and miscellaneous including international relations, society, current affairs, governance, this total is 18 and last year also it was same. So this is same, this has gone up, this has gone up, came down, gone up, came down, and this has came down. So ये variations होते रहते हैं, this is not a new thing. And now I will invite Dr. Vibhas Sir. He will start the discussion for the economy and one by one all the subjects will be discussed. GS paper के बाद CSAT paper का discussion होगा, and you can also check your performance in Prelims Analytica in the Next IAS website. I wish you all the best and let me invite to the Dr. Vibhas Sir. Thank you very much.
Good evening, all of you. I know it has been a hectic day for many of you, and the question paper was not making it easy. That also I know, but I'm sure you will be now relaxed to the extent that the exam is over. एक सजेशन मेरा है, डिस्कशन शुरू करने से पहले 2 दिन रेस्ट करना और मेंस की तैयारी में लग जाना. प्रीलिम्स हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा है इस चक्कर में मत फंसना. As your coach, I'm just suggesting to you that just rest for a couple of days and then go to your mains preparation. Please don't wait for the prelims result. तो चलो अब ज़्यादा टाइम आपका लेंगे नहीं, शुरू करते हैं और काम जल्दी ख़त्म करते हैं. And I hope that we'll get it done quickly. So the first question is statement 1. This is question 21, set A. Interest income from the deposits of infrastructure investment fund distributed to their investor is exempted from tax, but the dividend is taxable. This statement is wrong. From the budget of 2023-24, the government has made an amendment which says all income that you earn from infrastructure investment trust will be taxable. जो भी इनकम आप अर्न करेंगे इन्वेट से वो टैक्सेबल होगा. तो इसीलिए पहला स्टेटमेंट जो है वो गलत है. अब देखो तुम में से जिनको पता होगा कि पहला स्टेटमेंट गलत है उनको अपने आप ही पता चल जाएगा कि आंसर तो डी हो जाना चाहिए, बिकॉज ऑन ऑल अदर थिंग्स दे आर सेइंग फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट इज करेक्ट. यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट. तो ये कभी कभी हमें यूज करना चाहिए, बट मैं जानता हूं ये बताने के लिए थोड़ी देर हो गया हमें, करीब 5 घंटे, तो इसीलिए कहानी आगे बढ़ाते हैं. Next is InvITs are recognized as borrowers under the security SARFAESI. That is a true statement. InvITs are recognized as borrowers under SARFAESI. So the correct answer here will be D. Statement 1 is incorrect while statement 2 is correct. Statement 1 is incorrect while statement 2 is correct. That is your correct answer. Next question is, consider the following statement. In the post-pandemic recent past, many central banks worldwide had carried out interest rate hikes. अब ये तो समाचार में था कि बहुत सारे सेंट्रल बैंक अमेरिका के, यूरोप के, भारत के इंटरेस्ट रेट को बढ़ा रहे थे. तो ये स्टेटमेंट तो सही है. And then central banks generally assume that they have the ability to counteract the rising consumer prices. अब rising consumer prices क्या हुआ? Inflation. और central banks का ये belief है ना, ये theoretical belief है that if central banks increase the interest rate or reduce money supply, inflation can be controlled. तो यही वो कह रहे हैं that central banks generally assume that they have the ability to counteract the rising consumer prices via monetary policy means. और इसीलिए वो इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ा रहे थे. तो नतीजा क्या होगा इसका? Both the statements are correct and the second statement is the right explanation for the first statement. So your answer will be A. So 22, your answer will be A. Both the statements are correct and second statement is the right explanation for the first statement. तो ये भी एक सवाल आपसे पूछे इस एग्जाम में. अगेन ये करंट अफेयर से काफी कनेक्टेड था. Next question they asked, which of the following activities of RBI is considered to be part of sterilization? Sterilization का मतलब क्या होता है? Buying and selling government securities in open market to cancel impact of foreign exchange inflow और outflow. ये मतलब होता है स्टेरिलाइजेशन का. और ये ओपन मार्केट ऑपरेशन से कंडक्ट होता है. अब देखो ये क्वेश्चन था बहुत फ्यू क्वेश्चंस में से एक जो एलिमिनेशन से हटा सकते थे. That central bank doing sterilization is not a part. B, C and D don't explain it. A does. So the answer here will be A. The next question then that we see here is consider the following markets. Government bond market is a long-term market. Call money market is a less than 1 year short-term market. Treasury bill market is less than 1 year short-term market. Stock market is a long-term market. तो ये बन गया कैपिटल मार्केट, ये बन गया कैपिटल मार्केट और ये दोनों बन गए मनी मार्केट. फर्स्ट एंड फोर्थ आर कैपिटल मार्केट, सेकेंड एंड थर्ड आर मनी मार्केट. तो इसीलिए आंसर क्या हो जाएगा? अब हाउ मेनी ऑफ द अबव आर इंक्लूडेड इन कैपिटल मार्केट्स? ओनली two. Only two. Which one? Government bond market and stock market. So that is two capital market, the other two money market. So the answer here will be B, only two. Then the next question they asked us that which of the following best describes the concept of small farmer large field. ये ओडिशा गवर्नमेंट ने अभी इंट्रोड्यूस किया था इन टू ऑफ इट्स विलेजेस और इसीलिए ये सवाल पूछा उन्होंने अगेन. लेकिन ये प्रिडिक्ट करना मुश्किल होता है that you know when they talk about such questions, if you ask me, they are picked up from newspaper, but hindsight में all of us are intelligent, isn't it? तो अगर तुम मुझसे 2 महीने पहले या 4 महीने पहले भी पूछते कि ये सवाल आएगा या नहीं तो मैं बोलता नहीं आएगा, but UPSC being UPSC वो पूछते हैं. But anyways, the answer here is many marginal farmers in an area organize themselves into groups and synchronize and harmonize selected agricultural operations. क्यों ये important हो जाता है? Because if you recall, even in our agriculture classes, I would keep telling you that the government is continuously working on farmer producer organizations and other ways to make sure that marginal farmers have a big bargaining power. This is the basic answer. Then B, 26, that which of the following best describes the concept of small farmer large field. क्योंकि स्मॉल फार्म और कभी कभी दिमाग चला लिया करो, स्मॉल फार्मर लार्ज फील्ड कब होगा? जब बहुत सारे स्मॉल फार्मर मिलकर एक ग्रुप बना लें. द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन वाज consider this investment in the following assets: brand recognition, inventory, intellectual property, mailing list of clients. How many of the above are considered intangible investment? Intangible means which is an investment but you don't see or touch it. आप उसको देख नहीं सकते, छू नहीं सकते, लेकिन वो एक इन्वेस्टमेंट है, आपको रिटर्न देगा, आपके लिए वैल्यू लाएगा. तो क्या होगा वो? पहला ब्रांड रिकॉग्निशन, गुडविल क्रिएट करता है हमारे लिए. इन्वेंट्री का मतलब क्या होता है? स्टॉक. अब स्टॉक तो आप टच कर सकते हो, इसको फील कर, इसको देख सकते हो. सो दिस इज नॉट अ पार्ट ऑफ intangible investment. Intellectual property is like patent rights, license, again intangible, and mailing list of clients, again intangible, because the benefit you get is the information. कोई भी ये मत सोचना कि सर मेलिंग लिस्ट तो मैं देख सकता हूँ, चाहूँ तो छू भी सकता हूँ. तुम जरूर देख सकते हो, छू सकते हो, लेकिन इंफॉर्मेशन को देख और छू नहीं सकते, तो इसीलिए ये इंटेंजिबल है. अब सवाल पूछे कितने हैं इंटेंजिबल इन्वेस्टमेंट्स, सो द आंसर विल बी ओनली 3 हियर. ऑलराइट, इट इज ओनली 3. 1, 3 and 4 आर इंटेंजिबल इन्वेस्टमेंट्स इन द असेट्स. ऑलराइट, गब्बर टाइप का पेपर था तुम लोग का, हर बात में पूछ रहे थे कितने आदमी थे, तो देखते जाना. एनीवेज, लेट्स सी दिस. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन दे आस्क अस, consider the following infrastructure sectors: affordable housing, mass rapid transport, healthcare, renewable energy. On how many of the above does UNOP's Sustainable Investment in Infrastructure Innovation Initiative focuses for its investment? ये जबरदस्त न्यूज में था अभी कुछ दिन पहले, रादर कुछ दिन पहले, कुछ महीने पहले भी नहीं, hardly a month back, 20 days back, because there were irregularities found in UNOPS. तो इसीलिए मैं जनरली, अगर तुम्हें याद हो, आप में से जो भी मुझसे पूछते हो, मैं आपको बोलता हूं कि अखबार पढ़ना अंत तक नहीं छोड़ना चाहिए. ये पिछले 15-20 दिनों में था समाचार में, वहां ये बात, इसलिए ये पूछ लिया उन्होंने. खैर, अब इसके अंदर याद रखना, UNOPS, they have their headquarters in Brussels, Belgium, and they have 3 things in them. They focus on affordable housing, they focus on healthcare, and they focus on renewable energy. Mass rapid transport उनका part नहीं होता. So 3 things, 1, 3 and 4 are correct things here. Only 3. C is your answer. 30, your answer is C. Only 3. Why? Because mass rapid transport is not a part of the story here. Mass rapid transport is not a part of story here. Then the next question they asked us, consider the following statement with reference to India. According to MSME Act 2006, the medium enterprises are those with investments in plant and machinery between 15 crore to 25 crore. ये गलत हो गया, क्यों? Because with the amendment done in 2020, now it is 50 crore and above. तो इसीलिए पहला स्टेटमेंट गलत. अगर आप देखे भी होंगे, क्लास डिस्कशन भी याद होगा, तो पहला स्टेटमेंट गलत है, ये समझ गए होंगे. सेकेंड स्टेटमेंट, ऑल बैंक लोन्स to the micro, small and medium enterprises qualify under the priority sector. पता है प्रॉब्लम पार्ट क्या है यहाँ? All bank loans. ऐसा थोड़ी है आप जो भी बैंक लोन दोगे MSME को वो प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर लेंडिंग में होगा. Alright, it is not necessary that all the bank loans that are given to MSME have to qualify under priority sector. So that is why the second statement also becomes incorrect. So the answer to question number 71 is D, neither one nor two. None of the two statements are correct here. Alright, none of the two statements are correct here. Possible because UPSC is trying to limit students from attempting every question. That's a possibility. You never know with them. Let us see the next thing then. Consider the following statements. Statement 1, Switzerland is one of the leading exporters of the gold in terms of value. Correct statement. It is in fact the fourth largest exporter of gold and India is one of the biggest buyers of gold from Switzerland. अभी तक जितने क्वेश्चन मैंने तुमसे डिस्कस किए हैं इनमें से 3 क्वेश्चन अगर आपके सॉल्व हो जाते 3 अगर इकोनॉमिक्स सर्वे तुमने देखा होता पर वो तो अब फिर पुरानी बात हो गई. व्हाट्स द पॉइंट टॉकिंग अबाउट इट. Now see, so Switzerland is one of the leading exporters of gold in terms of value. Statement 2, Switzerland has the second largest gold reserves in the world. This is wrong. Switzerland has the 7th largest gold reserve in the world. लेकिन इस क्वेश्चन में अगेन क्या था? Statement 1 is correct, Statement 2 is incorrect. Alright, and obviously अगर तुम 1 और 2 को देखोगे तुम्हें रियलाइज होगा that 2 cannot be a viable explanation of 1. You understand that? 2 cannot be a viable explanation of 1. तो elimination use कर सकते थे, but anyways, so statement 1 is correct, but 2 is incorrect. So the answer to 86 is statement 1 is correct, but 2 is incorrect. Statement 1 is correct, but 2 is incorrect. Alright, this is what I had to discuss with you in this paper. Reddy Sir will be joining you very soon for the rest of the economics paper. All the best from my side in your future endeavor. तुम्हें कोई भी जरूरत पड़े तुम नेक्स्ट IAS आ सकते हो. अगर तुम्हें पेपर का डिफिकल्टी लेवल देखना है, अगर तुम्हें पेपर चेक करना है, आप नेक्स्ट IAS के साइट पे जाइए. वी हैव स्टार्टेड अ न्यू एंडेवर दिस ईयर. उसके अंदर डिजिटली आप अपना एक OTP पा सकते हैं, फीड कर सकते हैं एंड यू विल गेट द नेक्स्ट जेन इफेक्ट. आपको नेक्स्ट IAS के साइट पे ये मिल जाएगा. इसके आप चेक कर सकते हैं पेपर कितना टफ था, आप चेक कर सकते हैं कि आप कितना स्कोर कर सकते थे. मिस्टर B सिंह मस्ट हैव टोल्ड यू अबाउट दैट ऑलरेडी. तो आप जरूर ये ट्राई करके देखिएगा. आई थिंक इट विल हेल्प यू. सो आई विल सी यू देन अगेन. और कोई दिक्कत आए, कोई डाउट है, तुम किसी भी तरह की हेल्प चाहते हो, फील फ्री टू कम टू नेक्स्ट IAS. थैंक यू. हैव अ ग्रेट डे. बाय बाय.
Dear friends, I just missed one words to share with you. That those of you who are next IAS students, either of last session or before last to last session or any session whatsoever, I want to assure you that in case you have missed any area, any part of the syllabus or any subject or for the word any entire syllabus, we would like to support you again. And do not feel any hesitation. This is your home. I always say this is your second home. So come for the repetition of any area which you want to improve and we will be happy to support you. We want to see you, finally you succeed in this examination. That is our aim.
Perfect. So that means my session ends on a great note that you can come to us anytime, and if you have missed any session, as Mr. B.Singh has told you already, then please come, and if you have been our student, we will be happy to help you in that. Thank you again. Always happy. He says always happy to help you. Always. So thank you all of you again, and please wait. Mr. Reddy Sir will be joining you very soon and for further economics question. Thank you. All the best.
Hello students, we'll move to the next question right now. See the next question, they were asking us, consider the following statements. Again, always remember, whenever they are asking us, you have to be carefully read either they are asking the correct statement or the not correct statement. So once you read this part, consider the following statements, then move to the how many of the above statements are correct. They were asking us correct statements. So here they are asking the correct statement. Now see, there are three options, 1, 2, 3. First option, the Government of India provides minimum support price MSP for nicer seats. You know friends, it is the newspaper. Frequently you see newspapers, government increased MSP, some political party says that it is not good amount, etc. So it is always in controversial, it is a newspaper. So it is a quite expected question. If you see that 2 years back also there was asked a question, which of the following crops were under the part of MSP. So here they were asking us about which of the crops MSP, they give the crop name. But here they give link with geography also. See the beauty of UPSC, they always link with polity, environment, science. So here they link with second part. See, Niger is cultivated as a kharif crop. Yes, it is true statement. The first statement is true, second is true. You see the website of farmer.gov.in, they mentioned all the list of the crops of MSP. There is a list heading kharif crops, all the list, rabi crops, all the list is there. So you can check there also. If you see our class notes also, I provided the list. So statement number 2 also right. The third one, some tribal, see the word some, catchy here, some tribal people in India use Niger seed oil for cooking purposes. It is true. So answer is all the three options, all the three options. So this is the question number 27, set number A. If we move to the next question, consider the following. Again, UPSC has a very good habit. Whatever happens in the newspapers currently, they may not ask immediately friends, they won't ask immediately. For example, 15th Finance Commission on the newspaper from last 3 years. I told the students they can ask in 2020 prelims, then 21, 22, 23. So they have a habit of asking after 2 years, 3 years. So they pick the question on 15th Finance Commission. See the question here, they were asking us, consider the following statements. For the horizontal, see, whenever you are giving exam, already you give exam right now, see the statements, you have to see here first. For the horizontal tax devolution, as you know, 15th Finance Commission play very, very important role in center-state finance relationships, like vertical devolution, horizontal devolution, then grants formula, etc. So here they are asking us, for the horizontal tax devolution, the 15th Finance Commission used how many of the above as a criteria other than population, area and income distance. They are asking us for horizontal devolution formula, which of the following parameters, they ask which of the above parameters are part other than population as well as income distance. Here you can guess and eliminate. This year paper if you observe, very less scope for elimination, but here in this question we can use elimination as a technique. But this year elimination is very less useful, honestly say. But next year we don't know, they may repeat the pattern, they may not repeat also. That is called UPSC. Now see, first one is demographic performance. Yes, it is a part of what you call horizontal devolution formula. Number 2, forest and ecology. Friends, imagine if you don't know, you might have used the common sense here. See the stable government, it cannot be a criteria. So eliminate the third, fourth statement. Then governance reforms also wrong statement. Then one is right, second is right, forest and ecology. Then tax and fiscal efforts also right. So here if you observe only what you called 3 parameters, means 1, 2 and fifth one is the right answer. So here that is it's a very nice question, expected question. 15th Finance Commission, vertical devolution, horizontal devolution, they picked here horizontal devolution criteria. So if you eliminate here stable government one and all the 5 is eliminated, then governance reforms, that is also wrong. So if you eliminate 4, then left with only 2 or only 3. So answer is B for Bombay. Next question, with reference to central bank digital currencies. Again, this question is very expecting from last 3-4 years. 2 years back they were asked about the cryptocurrencies, but as you know, last year November RBI introduced pilot basis initially the CBDC, that is called digital currencies, or Europe also. Now wholesale plus retail it is available. So they picked the question, it is again from the current affairs as well as expected also. If you see, with reference to the central bank digital currencies, consider the following statements. In examination already you done, but when you read that part, then always check whether they are asking correct statement or the not correct statement. So here they are asking again, which of the statements given above is or are correct. They are asking the correct statement. Now look at the options. Look at number 1. It is possible to make payments in a digital currency without, see the catchy word is without using US dollar or SWIFT system. As you know, the cryptocurrencies, here the beauty of CBDC is simply the technology wise cryptos plus legal tender. If it's the cryptocurrencies in our country in India, they are not legal tender. When I say legal tender, I have let's say 10 rupees cash now. If I want to buy chocolate after the class, I can buy it. There is a legal tender. But you might have heard in the newspapers during the demonetization period, 500 rupees, 1000 rupees, not legal tender other than specified purposes. So here legal tender means you cannot refuse for acceptance of medium of exchange. So here it is a right. So simply remember, they are asking us, it is a digital currency we can use across the globe. So that is the advantage of the CBDC or the practically speaking cryptocurrencies technology only, but cryptos not legal tender. So answer statement 1 is right. Then a digital currency of course can be distributed with a condition. See the condition, with a condition programmed into its such as time frame for spending on it. So again it is very catchy, they are telling it is a program such a way you can use only for specific purpose. So that is a wrong statement, because you know once it is a legal tender, so there are two types of legal tender we studied in the class also, limited legal tender, unlimited legal tender. So once you are telling only particular time period you can use, you are making them limited legal tender, that is not right. So definitely statement number 2 is wrong, so only 1 is the correct statement. So this is a very beautiful question, application based question on CBDC. Let's move to the next question. In the context of finance, again if you ask me as a brother, this question is surprising to me also, because generally we don't discuss in financial markets all technical things like alpha, beta, but again if you follow regular economic times or financial express, technically you may guess answer, otherwise this question may be a little bit tricky honestly. But we can guess here through elimination. They are asking you in the finance, they give clue it's the finance. So there is a alpha, beta, some concepts are there. So now I felt now onwards I'll discuss these things in the class also. So they are asking what is the meaning of beta. Now look at the first statement. The process of simultaneous buying and selling of an asset from different platforms. Again, we can eliminate, this is the wrong statement. An investment strategy, a portfolio manager to balance risk versus reward. Yes, again it looks right, but again friends, here you may get stuck here, either B. A type of systemic risk that arises where perfect hedging is not possible. No. In economics, in financial, in econometrics, we use some data, some trends like some ratios to predict what will happen tomorrow, how much I get return, how much risk I am taking, risk reward analysis, etc. So we can eliminate this also. Now see D, a numeric value that measures the fluctuations of a stock, a particular stock, to changes in the overall stock market. Yes, this is the answer friends. Answer is D for Delhi. Here they are telling, you know, beta is used. Let's say there are 30 stocks. For example, Sensex 30 is there. In the Bombay Stock Exchange, there are a number of companies. So top 30 companies, which company we should invest right now? So that means it's give an idea to us to invest. So it's like a strategy. We use the beta. It is above 1, etc. Some indications are there. So answer for this question is D for Delhi. But again, it is unpredictable. No doubt in that. It is a little bit tricky statement or the question. Let's move to the next question. Consider the following statements. Again, this is the very factual. I always tell the students in the classroom also, always refer the economic survey, chapter 1. They provide us macroeconomic trends. For example, GDP growth rate trends, tax collection trends, debt to GDP trends, exports, imports, which countries we are trading more, where we are importing. So they give some analysis in the economic survey, chapter 1. Even if you refer the newspapers also, every month you see newspaper and exports, imports data. Every month you see exports declined by this % because of the global recessionary fear. Imports declined. So overall trade deficit is like this. So this is the one data question. See here, first statement, India accounts for 3.2% of global export of goods. Again, I cannot say blindly like this. So general UPS has a trend, so they keep some wrong data in economic statements. So here, so it is not 3.2, it is around 2.1% currently. So our target is by 2047, we want to make 10% of our GDP. So the 10% in the global exports by 2047, that is our target number 1. Second statement, if you observe here, see statement 2, many local companies and some foreign, see the word some foreign companies operating in India have taken advantage of India's production linked incentive scheme. Yes, it is a quite popular scheme right now. India's exports also increasing. So the PLI program launched during the COVID period for selected sectors. So because of it, some domestic companies also and foreign companies also gaining a lot. So we are hoping this scheme will help us improving our exports, reduction of current account deficit, overall trade deficit also. As you know, we import more goods than export. So this statement is absolutely right statement. So statement 2 is right, statement 1 is wrong, friends. Now option C, statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is a correct statement, okay. So if you see this year paper overall, I want 3 points. Number 1, we may not see the same trend next year, it may be repeated, but we must focus on concepts and understanding. We should not blindly focus on only elimination. I wish all the best. So whatever is happened. Prepare for mains. It is useful for next attempt also. All the best for students. Thank you.
Take up IR related questions. This year there have been questions from IR and there have been very interesting options given for that. So let us take the questions. I'll be taking few questions and few of the questions would be there in आपका जो है geography, world geography. So let us take the questions which have been assigned to me for IR. Question number 78, that is, which one of the following countries has been suffering from decades of civil strife and food shortages and was in news in the recent past for its very severe famine? Angola, Costa Rica, Ecuador, Somalia. All the countries, they are very close options are there, but the exact answer is Somalia. Somalia has been witnessing civil war for the last 10-12 years, and basically it has started because of there has been frustration against the military junta there, the military ruler there. So it has started because of that, and it has been facing food shortage because of one thing is climate change, droughts are frequent there, and then we have the slump in the global oil prices and all those things, global food shortage is there, and this civil war is going on. Because of all these things, we have faced food shortage. So the correct answer to this is Somalia. Now, consider the following statements. Recently, the United States of America and the European Union have launched the Trade and Technology Council. Yes, this was in the news and this is a correct statement. Recently, the United States of America and the European Union have launched the Trade and Technology Council. Number 2 statement, the USA and the European Union claim that through this they are trying to bring technological progress and physical productivity under their control. Now, let us see the options. Both statements 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 2 is the correct explanation for statement 2 is the correct explanation for statement 1. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 2 is not the correct explanation for statement 1. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. So recently, let us again go back to the statements. Recently, the USA and European Union have launched the Trade and Technology Council. This statement is very much correct. The USA and the European Union claim that through this, they are trying to bring technological progress and physical productivity under their control. This word, under their control, is not correct. Of course, they are trying to bring technological progress, physical connectivity, economic cooperation. They are trying to deepen the trade relationship, but not to bring them under their control. So these three words, under their control, makes the statement incorrect. So if we look at the final answer to this, so statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. So the answer would be C. Now consider the following statements. The Stability and Growth Pact of the European Union is a treaty that. Stability and Growth Pact of the European Union, this was in the news because it has been deferred by European Union for another year last year, so it has been in the news. Basically, this is about fiscal, it is a fiscal rule book for European Union. So the Stability and the Growth Pact of the European Union is a treaty that limits the levels of the budgetary deficit of the countries of the European Union, makes the countries of the European Union to share their infrastructure facilities, enables the countries of the European Union to share their technologies. So basically, as I have said, that this is a pact basically about fiscal rule book for European Union. So it limits the levels of the budgetary deficit of the countries of the European Union. This is correct. Now, it makes the countries of the European Union to share their infrastructure facilities. This is not correct. And it enables the countries of the European Union to share their technologies. This is also not correct. Now, how many of the above statements are correct? Only one is correct. So, answer is A. Now, consider the following statements. Recently, all the countries of the United Nations have adopted the first ever compact for international migration, the Global Compact for Safe, Orderly and Regular Migration, that is GCM. Second, the objectives and commitments stated in the GCM are binding on the UN member countries. Number 3, the GCM addresses internal migration or internally displaced people also in its objectives and commitments. So GCM has been in the news because there has been criticism of GCM by Australia, there has been criticism of GCM by US also. So the first statement, recently all the countries of the UN have adopted the first ever compact for international migration, the Global Compact for Safe, Orderly and Regular Migration, GCM. This is correct. This is not correct because all the countries, it's not all the countries. When it was discussed, 163 countries have voted for it, not all the countries. Now, the objectives and commitments stated in the GCM are binding. It is non-binding. So, it is also incorrect. It is non-binding rather than binding, it is non-binding. And the GCM addresses internal migration or internally displaced people also. It does not talk about internal migration or internally displaced people. It is about cross-border migration. It is talking about international migration. So, how many of the above statements are correct? None of the above statements are correct. So, the answer is D. Now, consider the following statements. Statement 1, Israel has established diplomatic relations with some Arabian states. Now, statement number 2, the Arab Peace Initiative mediated by Saudi Arabia was signed by Israel and Arab League. This question was highly expected because West Asia has been in the news, and ever since Abraham Accord is there, we are seeing that the Arab countries are trying to improve their relationship with Israel. So, Israel has established diplomatic relationship with some Arab countries, that is correct. Bahrain वगैरह के साथ, UAE के साथ Abraham Accord has been signed in 2020, so this statement is correct. Now, the Arab Peace Initiative mediated by Saudi Arabia was signed by Israel and Arab League. This Arab Peace Initiative came into the picture in 2002, and again after the Abraham Accord, it is again in the news because now Saudi Arabia does not want US to dominate the whole scenario there in West Asia. So now again this Arab Peace Initiative is in the news. So the Arab Peace Initiative mediated by Saudi Arabia was signed by Israel and Arab League. It has not been signed yet. Signed by Israel. So this, it has not been signed yet. So this is wrong. Now, which one of the following is correct in respect of the above statements? Both statements 1 and 2 are correct, so this is wrong. Both statements 1 and 2 are correct and statement 2 is not the correct explanation for statement 1, this is wrong. Statement 1 is correct but statement 2 is incorrect. Statement 1 is incorrect but statement 2 is correct. Only statement 1 is correct, so the answer would be C. Okay, in the recent years, Chad, Guyana, Mali and Sudan caught the international attention for which of the following reasons common to all of them? Discovery of rich deposits of rare earth elements, establishment of Chinese military bases, southward expansion of Sahara Desert, successful coup. So if you see, the common between Chad, Guyana, Mali and Sudan has been successful coups. So the answer is D. Now, this was highly expected question G20. India is holding the presidency of G20 this year. G20 is the group which was formed in 1999. So let us see the question. The G20 group was originally established as a platform for the finance ministers and central bank governors to discuss the international economic and financial issues. Digital public infrastructure is one of the India's G20 priorities. Which of the following statements given above is or are correct? So, the G20 group was originally established, it was formed in 1999 when there was Asian economic financial crisis was there. So, it was formed in 1999 and the main reason for, basically it was established as a platform where finance ministers and central bank governors should meet. So, that is statement 1 is correct. And digital public infrastructure is one of India's G20 priorities. This is also correct. We have seen that India has been focusing on digital public infrastructure. We are focusing too much on digital public infrastructure. Even in the G20, we are discussing how it is going to help the developed and developing countries, how it is going to help your developing countries and underdeveloped countries. So we are focusing a lot on digital public infrastructure. Both 1 and 2 are correct. So which one of the following statements given are correct? So answer would be C.
Good evening to all of you. This is Ashish Kumar speaking on the behalf of NEXT IAS. I hope you had a fair attempt in this examination. Fair attempt because you must have given your best, and then let's see what happens finally. See, on the basis of our understanding of the questions and of course the knowledge in that area, we have come up with some discussion on the answers of today's paper GS1. Now see, there can be some kind of subjectivity also on certain questions, and that is the reason certain students may say that my answer is A and somebody will say my answer is B and C and D. Don't bother about it. We can just be close to the answer. Final answer will be given by UPSC, but yes, we can give our own logic and then attempt the question. हर आदमी अपना लॉजिक दे रहा है कि भाई मेरे हिसाब से ये होना चाहिए, मेरे हिसाब से ये होना चाहिए. Finally, do not be heartbroken, do not lose hope if suppose there is a variation in your answer and the answer की. उसमें कोई बहुत ज़्यादा घबराने की, इतना ज़्यादा परेशान होने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. Take an average and then proceed further. और एक बात मैं की से डिस्कशन से पहले बोल दूँ आपको कि आपका स्कोर कितना भी आए, निराश नहीं होना है और बहुत खुश होकर पढ़ाई भी छोड़नी नहीं है और निराश होकर पढ़ाई भी नहीं छोड़नी है. कीप स्टडिंग एज इफ यू हैव टू राइट द मेंस. मार्क्स कुछ भी आए, रिजल्ट कुछ भी आए, मेंस की तैयारी कीजिए. आज नहीं तो कल मेंस आपको देना ही है. एनीवेज, कमिंग टू द पॉइंट, I'll discuss with you the first question of Indian polity. Indian polity का पहला क्वेश्चन आपके साथ डिस्कस करूंगा मैं. I'll be taking the area which I am taking right now in the next IAS. The first question is in essence, what does due process of law means? Due process of law का मतलब क्या है? अब आप देखिए कि due process of law अगर आप देखते हैं, certainly it's not about procedure established by law. PEBL is a contrasting idea. DPL और PEBL एक contrasting ideas हैं, तो इसको तो हम रख देते हैं साथ में. उसने पूछा है कि ड्यू प्रोसेस ऑफ लॉ का बेसिक आइडिया अंडरस्टैंडिंग निकल के क्या आती है, एक्चुअली कॉन्सेप्ट क्या है ये. तो प्रोसीजर एस्टेब्लिश बाय लॉ तो नहीं हो सकता. इक्वलिटी बिफोर लॉ भी यहाँ पे कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है. द टू कॉम्पिटिटर्स आर A एंड C. ये दोनों आपस में कॉम्पीट कर रहे हैं. फेयर एप्लीकेशन ऑफ लॉ एंड प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ नेचुरल जस्टिस. ये रुक गया है क्या? ओके. अब देखिए, मोस्टली क्या होगा, व्हेन पीपल रीड द नोट्स सुपरफिशियली या एक मोटा आइडिया लेते हैं, उस सिचुएशन में मोस्ट ऑफ यू विल गो फॉर इट. फेयर वर्ड देख लिया और सब फेयर 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 मारेंगे, ऐसा टेंडेंसी है. और मैं ये भी नहीं बोलता ये गलत है. ड्यू प्रोसेस ऑफ लॉ सेज दैट नॉट ओनली एग्जीक्यूटिव शुड अप्लाई अ लेजिटिमेट लॉ. ड्यू प्रोसेस ऑफ लॉ कहता है कि एग्जीक्यूटिव को एक लेजिटिमेट लॉ को अप्लाई करना चाहिए. लेजिटिमेट लॉ मतलब जिसे उस बॉडी ने बनाया जिसके पास वो पावर थी उस लॉ को बनाने की, और वो लॉ प्रोसीजरल एस्पेक्ट से भी सही है, तो वो लेजिटिमेट लॉ है, प्रोसीजर वाइज सही है, उसको अप्लाई करो. अगर आप एक ऐसे लॉ को अप्लाई कर रहे हो जो प्रोसीजरली फॉल्टी था या वो लॉ है ही नहीं, तो एप्लीकेशन का एरर है, ये एग्जीक्यूटिव का एरर है. सो प्रोसीजर एस्टैब्लिश्ड बाय लॉ इज बेसिकली ट्राइंग टू कंट्रोल रॉन्ग एप्लीकेशन ऑफ लॉ, अनफेयर एप्लीकेशन ऑफ लॉ. तो कहीं ना कहीं फेयर एप्लीकेशन ऑफ लॉ, अगर प्रोसीजर एस्टैब्लिश बाय लॉ की बात आती तो यहां पे ये सही फिट बैठता. दैट इज दैट फेयर एग्जीक्यूशन ऑफ लॉ. भाई प्रोसीजर एस्टैब्लिश बाय लॉ फेयर एग्जीक्यूशन की तो बात कर रहा है कि एग्जीक्यूट तरीके से कीजिए, सही तरीके से कीजिए, वही काम कीजिए जो लॉ अलाउ करता है, और वो लॉ भी सही होना चाहिए. मगर जब बात आती है ड्यू प्रोसेस ऑफ लॉ की, इट्स अ कॉन्सेप्ट टेकन फ्रॉम USA, अमेरिका से लिया है कॉन्सेप्ट हमने. मेनका गांधी वर्सेस यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया केस 1978, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बोला कि अंडर आर्टिकल 21 इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज प्रोवाइडिंग प्रोसीजर एस्टैब्लिश्ड बाय लॉ. अंडर आर्टिकल 21 प्रोसीजर एस्टैब्लिश्ड बाय लॉ इज गिवन एंड वी हैव टू रीड द प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ नेचुरल जस्टिस विद इट, एंड thus दिस विल गिव राइज टू ड्यू प्रोसेस ऑफ लॉ. तो अगर आप मेनका गांधी केस की इंटरप्रिटेशन यूज करते हैं, और ये बातें क्लास में भी बताई जाती है, ऐसा नहीं है कि इसके लिए आपको बैठ के पूरा लॉ पढ़ना है या पूरे केसेस को उठा के पढ़ना है, क्लास में भी बताई जाती है चीजें कि PBL पहले से था, प्रिंसिपल ऑफ नेचुरल जस्टिस के साथ जोड़ा गया और ये बन जाता है आपका ड्यू प्रोसेस ऑफ लॉ. अगर आपको सिंप्लीफाई कर दूं इस बात को मैं, तो ये है कि ऑल इन ऑल DPL सेज दैट नॉट ओनली द एप्लीकेशन ऑफ द लॉ शुड बी फेयर, द इंटेंट ऑफ द लॉ शुड ऑल्सो बी फेयर. लॉ की एप्लीकेशन फेयर नहीं होगी, उसकी इंटेंशन भी फेयर होनी चाहिए, उसका मोटिव भी फेयर होना चाहिए. सो ऑल इन ऑल व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट द फेयरनेस कॉन्सेप्ट, जब आप टोटल फेयरनेस की बात करते हैं तो वो बनता है ड्यू प्रोसेस ऑफ लॉ. और ये फेयर है कि नहीं है, कोई भी एक्शन एप्लीकेशन फेयर है नहीं है, लॉ का इंटेंशन फेयर है कि नहीं है, ये चेक कैसे करेंगे? ये चेक करते हैं थ्रू द प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ नेचुरल जस्टिस। तो फेयरनेस को चेक करता है प्रिंसिपल ऑफ नेचुरल जस्टिस, और अगर ऑल इन ऑल आपका एक्शन फेयर है देन दैट इज स्टैंडिंग द टेस्ट ऑफ ड्यू प्रोसेस ऑफ लॉ। तो आई होप यू मस्ट हैव अंडरस्टूड द पॉइंट। अकॉर्डिंग टू माई अंडरस्टैंडिंग द आंसर शुड बी ए, द प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ नेचुरल जस्टिस। एज आई सेड अगेन, you have to not be very much worried if you have marked C या कोई और ऑप्शन आपने मार्क किया। This is as per the available understanding. So answer should be A, principles of natural justice. Okay. देखिए यहाँ पर भी वही है, as I say in the class also that you will encounter some questions where all the 4 options appear correct or all the 4 options appear wrong. एंड यू हैव टू चूज द बेस्ट। क्लास में बोलता हूं कि आप वो ऑप्शन चूज करने पड़ेंगे जो बेस्ट है अवेलेबल ऑप्शन में। चारों सही लगेंगे, चारों गलत लग सकते हैं, ये उनमें से एक क्वेश्चन है। चारों ऑप्शन सही लगेंगे आपको। देखिए साफ साफ बोलते हैं, विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट बेस्ट रिफ्लेक्ट्स द चीफ पर्पस ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के बहुत सारे पर्पसेज हैं, और ये देखा जाए तो चारों पर्पस सर्व होते हैं कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन से। कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ये बताता है कि भाई हम लॉ क्यों बना रहे हैं, कौन से पॉलिटिकल ऑफिसेस को क्रिएट करना है, जो पॉलिटिकल ऑफिसेस हैं उनकी पावर क्या होगी, उस पावर को कैसे यूज करना है, एंड दिस इवेंचुअली लीड्स टू सोशल जस्टिस एंड ऑल दैट। बट सी ही इज आस्किंग अबाउट द प्राइमरी पर्पस। ये सारे पर्पस हैं, मगर सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट पर्पस क्या है? सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट पर्पस शुड बी इट डिफाइंस द लिमिट्स एंड द पावर्स ऑफ गवर्नमेंट। गवर्नमेंट क्या कर सकती है? गवर्नमेंट मतलब इस कंटेक्स्ट में ये सिर्फ एग्जीक्यूटिव की बात नहीं कर रहा है, टोटल स्टेट की बात कर रहा है। व्हाट द सिस्टम कैन डू एंड व्हाट दे कैन नॉट डू, दैट हैज टू बी डिफाइंड। कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन लिखा इसलिए गया है ताकि इसमें कोई एम्बिग्यूटी ना रहे। स्टेट क्या कर सकता है, क्या नहीं कर सकता, वो क्लैरिटी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन देता है। तो एज पर दिस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन, दिस अपीयर्स टू बी द बेस्ट अवेलेबल आंसर। जितने भी ऑप्शन है उसमें से ये बेस्ट आंसर है, हालांकि चारों ऑप्शन करेक्ट है अपने आप। देखिए अब ये भी एक बहुत ही वैसे तो आसान क्वेश्चन है, अगर आप नोट्स ठीक से पढ़ के जाएंगे तो क्वेश्चन ये मुश्किल नहीं है। ध्यान दीजिए, ये कहता है कि विच वन ऑफ द फॉलोइंग अमेंडमेंट वाज बिलीव्ड टू बी एनैक्टेड टू ओवरकम जुडिशियल इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ फंडामेंटल राइट्स। कौन सी अमेंडमेंट इसलिए लाई गई थी कि जुडिशरी की जजमेंट को डाइल्यूट करना था या बाईपास करना था या उसे वे आउट निकालना था। देखिए अगर आप जानते हैं तो चंपकम दुरैराजम केस, चंपकम दुरैराजन केस 1951, यहां पर भी कोर्ट कह रहा है कि डू नॉट मेक अ लॉ विच वायलेट्स फंडामेंटल राइट्स, डू नॉट मेक अ लॉ विच वायलेट्स फंडामेंटल राइट इवन इफ द लॉ इज टू इंप्लीमेंट अ डीपीएसपी। शुरू से कोर्ट बड़ा क्लियर था दैट नथिंग शुड बॉदर फंडामेंटल राइट। कोर्ट अपनी जजमेंट शुरुआत से उसने ये बात क्लियर करनी शुरू कर दी थी, एंड द रीसेंट दिस इंस्टेंस ऑफ चंपकम दुरैराजन केस, कोर्ट बहुत क्लियर था कि कुछ भी ऐसा नहीं करना है जिससे फंडामेंटल राइट वायलेट हो, चाहे वो डीपीएसपी के लिए ही क्यों ना हो। भाई चंपकम केस में इट वाज अ फाइट बिटवीन डीपीएसपी एंड फंडामेंटल राइट, तो कोर्ट कहता है एफआर को डैमेज नहीं होना चाहिए। बट सेविंग एफआर इज नॉट ऑलवेज द लग्जरी available with the fundamental rights. For social reform, you have to take some decisions, you have to bring some laws whereby some fundamental rights will be affected. तो कहीं ना कहीं एफआर्स को थोड़ा शेप देना जरूरी था। अब फंडामेंटल राइट्स को शेप देना जरूरी था, मतलब कहीं ना कहीं फंडामेंटल राइट्स को थोड़ा सा सप्रेस करने की जरूरत थी, जो कि किया गया थ्रू फर्स्ट अमेंडमेंट एक्ट। फर्स्ट अमेंडमेंट एक्ट से आर्टिकल 15 क्लॉज 4 ऐड किया गया, आर्टिकल 15 क्लॉज 4 ऐड किया गया। ये साफ साफ क्लियर करता है कि गवर्नमेंट कैन टेक एक्शन फॉर बैकवर्ड क्लासेस, गवर्नमेंट कैन टेक एक्शंस फॉर द अपलिफ्टमेंट ऑफ द बैकवर्ड क्लासेस। तो अगर सरकार बैकवर्ड क्लासेस के लिए कोई लॉ लाती है तो कोर्ट में मत जाना ये बोल के मेरा फंडामेंटल राइट का वायलेशन हो गया, ये अलाउड है। तो 15 क्लॉज 4 ऐड हुआ फर्स्ट अमेंडमेंट एक्ट से। उसके बाद राइट टू ऑक्यूपेशन के ऊपर लिमिट लगी, राइट टू ऑक्यूपेशन में लिमिट लगी, राइट टू ऑक्यूपेशन फंडामेंटल राइट है, उस पर लिमिट्स लगाए गए 19 क्लॉज 6 को अमेंड करके, 19 क्लॉज 6 को अमेंड किया गया। एंड देन द फर्स्ट अमेंडमेंट एक्ट ऑल्सो लेड टू द एडिशन ऑफ द 9th शेड्यूल। 9th शेड्यूल ऐड किया गया। ऑल दिस प्रोविजन इंश्योर दैट पार्लियामेंट हैज अ स्ट्रॉन्गर हैंड in bringing a legislation which may have a negative impact on fundamental right also, but that is done for society. सोसाइटी के लिए अगर एफआर को थोड़ा सा पुश करना भी पड़े तो वो परमिशन पार्लियामेंट ने फर्स्ट अमेंडमेंट एक्ट से इंट्रोड्यूस करके करी। तो इस केस में आंसर होना चाहिए फर्स्ट अमेंडमेंट एक्ट। देखिए ये भी अगर आप जानते हैं, अगर आपने कभी नोट्स ठीक से मतलब ध्यान से सुने हैं या देखे हैं, कहीं पे भी किसी भी सोर्स से पढ़ाई करी है आपने, तो आपको पता होगा कि ये आर्टिकल 335 क्या है। ये हम लोग क्लास में डीपीएसपी में पढ़ाते हैं। आई टेक दिस इन डीपीएसपी इन क्लास, कैटेगोरिकली आई टेक ऑल दीज थिंग्स। ये सारे जितने भी क्वेश्चन आए कहीं ना कहीं क्लास में डिस्कस हुए हैं, अगर आपने उनको ध्यान से गौर से सुना है तो 335 डीपीएसपी कहता है कि वट एवर आर टू बी गिवन टू शेड्यूल कास्ट एंड शेड्यूल ट्राइब, whatever claims scheduled caste and scheduled tribes have, SC ST के जो भी क्लेम है, मतलब जो भी वो डिजर्व करते हैं, you provide them। रिजर्वेशन डिजर्व करते हैं उनको दो, जो भी डिजर्व करते हैं दो, मगर उससे एफिशिएंसी पे कोई असर नहीं आना चाहिए। किसकी एफिशिएंसी पे? एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की। सो बेसिकली इट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट द एफिशिएंसी ऑफ द एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन। इतना आर्टिकल 335 में लिखा है और ये अपने आप में एक काइंड ऑफ आप कह सकते हो डीपीएसपी है, हालांकि ये पार्ट 4 में नहीं है। दिस इज नॉट कैटेगोरिकली इन पार्ट 4 बट इट्स अ डायरेक्शन। ये डायरेक्शन है जो स्टेट को दी है। ऐसे हम एग्जैक्टली डीपीएसपी नहीं बोलेंगे, मगर दिस इज लाइक अ डायरेक्शन टू द स्टेट। अब नागराज वर्सेस यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया केस 2006, अगर आपने कभी देखा या सुना है या पढ़ा है, क्लास में भी इसको डिस्कस किया जाता है। नागराज वर्सेस यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया केस 2006 साफ साफ बताया जाता है कि वहां पे कोर्ट ने क्लियर किया था कि whatever benefit the backward community requires deserve under the head of reservation, बैकवर्ड कम्युनिटी को रिजर्वेशन के नाम पे जो बेनिफिट देना है दे दो, मगर एफिशिएंसी पे असर नहीं आना चाहिए। नागराज वर्सेस यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया केस 2006 कैटेगोरिकली सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बताया है। क्लास में डिस्कस भी किया जाता है, नोट्स में लिखाया भी जाता है। सो अगर आपने वो पढ़ा है तो उसमें साफ साफ दिया है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट हैज हेल्ड दैट द रिजर्वेशन पॉलिसी अंडर आर्टिकल 16 क्लॉज 4 वुड बी लिमिटेड बाय आर्टिकल 335। मतलब वो कह रहे हैं कि रिजर्वेशन देना है दे दो, मगर एफिशिएंसी पे असर नहीं आना चाहिए। तो ये बिल्कुल सही है, इसमें कोई बात गलत नहीं है। नागराज केस, इवन इंदिरा साहनी केस भी अगर आपने पढ़ा है उससे भी आप इसको आंसर कर सकते हैं। स्टेटमेंट बिल्कुल सही है। आर्टिकल 335 इज टॉकिंग अबाउट एफिशिएंसी ऑफ द एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन। आर्टिकल 335 एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एफिशिएंसी की बात तो कर रहा है, मगर एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एफिशिएंसी को डिफाइन नहीं कर रहा है। यहां पे देखिए क्या बोला उसने, डिफाइंस। वो डेफिनेशन नहीं दे रहा है कि एफिशिएंसी की डेफिनेशन क्या होती है, वो स्टेट पे छोड़ दिया। तो ये डिफाइन की वजह से ये स्टेटमेंट गलत हो जाती है, एंड दस द आंसर इज सी। देखिए, नाउ दिस कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन डे इज सेलिब्रेटेड ऑन 26th November एवरी ईयर। बिल्कुल सही है। Constitution Day is celebrated on 26th November. Everybody knows, because if you are studying polity, you should know that Constitution of India was enacted and adopted. संविधान बनाया गया था, अप्रूव किया गया था on 26th November 1949. तो उसका सिग्निफिकेंस 26 नवंबर का कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के साथ है। एंड कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हैज सर्टेन वैल्यूज। व्हाई वी कीप टेलिंग पीपल अबाउट 26 नवंबर? हम क्यों मनाते हैं कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन डे? ताकि जनता को याद दिलाएं कि एक संविधान भी है, उसके कुछ वैल्यूज हैं और आपको उनको फॉलो करना चाहिए। तो यही बात इसने लिखी है। कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन डे इज सेलिब्रेटेड ऑन 26 नवंबर एवरी ईयर टू प्रमोट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल वैल्यूज अमंग सिटीजन्स। बिल्कुल सही है। उसके बाद ये सही है स्टेटमेंट। उसके बाद ऑन 26 नवंबर 49 कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली सेट अप द ड्राफ्टिंग कमेटी। ये स्टेटमेंट गलत है, क्योंकि 26 नवंबर 49 को तो पूरा संविधान बन गया था, अप्रूव भी हो गया था। ड्राफ्टिंग कमेटी वाज सेट अप ऑन 29th August 1947। ड्राफ्टिंग कमेटी 29 अगस्त 47 में बनाई गई। तो ये स्टेटमेंट गलत है और इसके हिसाब से आंसर भी हो जाता है सी। द आंसर इज सी। सो आई होप दैट शुड हैव गिवन यू सम क्लैरिटी। But then, as I say, don't bother about these kind of discussions or the various answer keys. Just keep working on your work, keep preparing for mains. I hope you do well in this examination and coming examination also. Good luck to all of you. Do well. God bless all of you. Thank you.
Everyone. So today prelims examination was there and there were almost 14 to 15 questions from polity section, and previously Ashish Sir has discussed few of the questions. So 3 to 4 questions will be discussed by me. Now focus here. So question number 32 from one one paper. This is consider the following statement. Statement 1. In India, prisons are managed by state governments with their own rules and regulations for the day-to-day administration of the prison. This statement is correct. Additional information here, why it is so, why it is managed by state, because it belongs to the state list. Interesting part is that even the states are willing to make laws over this, they can make, but actually the laws were made much earlier. Now go for this second statement. In India, prisons are governed by the Prisons Act 1894. That statement is correct, which expressly kept the subject of prison in the control of the provincial government. This statement is also correct. But now you can see this statement is talking about why it is managed by the state. So answer of the why is there because they are the part of the state list. Now the statement 2 in itself talk about the Prison Act 1894, and one of the clause of this is true that it was under the control of the provincial government. So this way both statements are correct, but it is not explaining this. The explanation belong is to the statement 1 is basically it belong to the state list, not because of the Act of 1894. So here the both of the statement is correct, both of the statement is correct, but it is not a correct explanation. It is not a correct explanation. Fine. Now we are coming to this question. With the reference to the scheduled areas in India, consider the following statement. The moment we talk about scheduled areas, Article 244 of the Indian Constitution, where you can find out connected with the 5th schedule and 5th schedule holding all the clauses related to the administration and management of the scheduled areas. Now let us see. First statement, within a state, the notification of an area as a scheduled area take place through an order of the president. Answer is yes. It is an order through the order of the president. The largest administrative unit forming the scheduled areas in the district and is the district. I repeat, the largest administrative unit forming the scheduled area is the district. Answer is correct. Now under the PESA Act At the top level it is district, then block, and here it is Gram Sabha. And the lowest is the cluster of village in the block. Why it is so? Cluster of the village in the block? Because the Gram Sabha is not administrative unit. Because the Gram Sabha is not administrative unit, but at the block level it is administrative unit. So technically statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is correct. Now the chief minister of the concerned state are required to submit annual report to the home ministry. Now here it is chief minister, no, it is governor. Union home ministry, it is president. So technically this statement is correct. So here you can find out the statement 1 and statement 2 is the correct answer. Now let us move to the next question. Consider the following statement. Here, according to the Constitution of India, the central government has the duty to protect state from internal disturbance. Again, statement is correct. Article 355 of the Indian Constitution. That's true. It is the union government should come forward basically to defend the state if there is a internal disturbances. Now the Constitution of India exempts the states from providing legal counsel to a person being held for preventive detention. I guess it is also clear, Article 22 clause 3b, where the rights which is available to citizen is not available under the preventive detention. So a state has no duty basically to provide any kind of legal counsel to the people who are arrested under the prevention detention. And if you come for the third one, according to the Prevention of Terrorism Act 2002, confession of the accused before the police cannot be used as a evidence. Now it was I would say more factual and tricky also. In general, what we study as per the Evidence Act, in general I am talking about, all the statements given in front of the police cannot be submitted as a evidence. But in case of this POTA laws, technically it was POTA laws, Makoka laws, Gujkoka laws, in all these laws the conditions has been changed. The Prevention of Terrorism Act 2002, confession of the accused before the police can be used, and it is just adding adding the additional information. It is not only the POTA, even in Gujkoka, in Makoka, this is all goes like this. But in general, when a statement given in front of the police is not admissible. But here this statement is technically incorrect. So how many of the above statements are correct? You can find out. Statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is correct. So it goes to only 2. It goes to only 2. Fine guys, so these are the 3 important questions what I have discussed, and rest of the questions will be discussed by Niraj sir. Thank you.
I will be taking some of the remaining questions. I will be taking some of the remaining questions of polity. The first question which I am taking is question 35. Consider the following organizations, bodies in India. First one says the National Commission for Backward Classes NCBC. Second one, National Human Rights Commission. Third one, National Law Commission. And the fourth one, the National Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission. How many of the above are constitutional bodies? So this question is basically asking us what are the constitutional bodies out of these four bodies. Okay, so this was one of the most easy questions in the entire paper, I think, especially out of polity. A very straightforward fact. The first question, the first option is NCBC. It is a constitutional body which has been provided after the 102nd Amendment Act of 2018, mentioned in Article 338B. Okay. Then we have the National Human Rights Commission. This is a statutory body. It is not a constitutional body, which is created through the NHRC Act 1993. Okay. Then we have the National Law Commission. Remember, the Law Commission is neither a constitutional body nor a statutory body. It is a executive body which is created by a government order. Okay. Then we have the National Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission. This is also created through a law, the Consumer Protection Act 2019. So the answer is only one of them is a constitutional body. It comes to be A, one only. Okay. Next, we are looking at the next question. Question 36. Consider the following statements. If the election of the President of India is declared void by the Supreme Court of India, all acts done by him or her in the performance of duties of his or her office of President before the date of decision becomes invalid. Now, if you look at this statement, very clearly it is taken from Article 71. Article 71, we know that any dispute with respect to elections of President and Vice President can be taken only to Supreme Court, and whatever actions are taken by the President, remember, they are taken on the advice of Council of Ministers. So all those actions remain valid even if his election was declared invalid by the Supreme Court. So this statement, it is not correct. Okay. The actions of the President will remain valid even after the election is declared invalid. Okay. Then election for the post of the President of India can be postponed on the ground that some legislative assemblies have been dissolved and elections are yet to take place. Again, this is mentioned in Article 71, that merely because some vacancies are there in the electoral college for the President's election, the President's election cannot be postponed, it has to be completed in time. This was added after the Supreme Court judgment in 1974, where Gujarat Assembly was dissolved and President's election was to be completed. Okay. So this statement is also incorrect. Okay. Both of these statements are coming from Article 71. Then when a bill is presented to the President of India, the Constitution prescribes time limits within which he or she has to declare his or her assent. Now remember, this is very clearly, again in the Constitution, Article 368, it talks about the President to give assent to a constitutional amendment. Okay. It only says the President shall give assent. It does not mention any time. So this statement is also incorrect. All three of them are wrong. So how many of the above statements are correct? The answer will be none, D. Okay. So next, question 80. Consider the following statements in respect of election of the President of India. Again related to election of President. So the members nominated to either house, we had the election of the President last year, so quite a number of questions are there. The members nominated to either house of the Parliament or the legislative assemblies of states are also eligible to be included in the electoral college. If you look at Article 55, it talks about the election of the President. This statement is incorrect. Only the elected members of the Parliament as well as the state assemblies as well as the assemblies of the UTs of Delhi and Puducherry, they are participating in the electoral college. So this statement is incorrect. Next, higher the number of elective assembly seats, higher is the value of vote of each MLA of that state. This statement is not correct because it is the ratio which determines the value of vote of an MLA. So population and number of seats of the number of MLAs, that ratio will determine what is the value of vote of an MLA. Okay. So this statement is not correct. We will have to see both of them together and the ratio will determine the value of the vote. So this is not a correct statement. Now this is a very, very difficult question actually because they have very pointedly asked you two facts which are generally not required to be studied in details. We are not supposed to remember all the values of the votes of all the states of all the MLAs, but unfortunately they have asked, it is a very, very difficult question. They have asked you the value of vote of each MLA of Madhya Pradesh is greater than that of Kerala. Now for this, you need to know either you have remembered the table of entire all these states of India and the UTs, or you are having some idea about 1971 population census and the number of seats of the states. So it is impossible practically to deal with this question. Okay, you will have to do some guesswork, otherwise it is very difficult. Okay, so if you go into the facts, MP, the value of vote of an MLA of MP is 131. Its population, its number of seats is 230, and its population of that census was something different, but the value is 131. Kerala, the value is 152. Okay, so Kerala has lesser number of MLAs, still the value of vote is higher. So very clearly the second statement, it is negated over here. So second statement is not correct. Okay, third statement is not correct. The fourth statement, if you look at it, the value of vote of each MLA of Puducherry is higher than that of Arunachal Pradesh, because the ratio of total population to total number of elective seats in Puducherry is greater as compared to Arunachal Pradesh. Now this is a correct statement. Again, very difficult fact to remember. Population of Puducherry and Arunachal Pradesh are almost similar. The number of MLA seats in Arunachal Pradesh, it is 60, in Puducherry it is 30. So as a result, Puducherry's value is 16 and Arunachal Pradesh it is just 8. So this is again a very difficult question. You have to remember the fact, otherwise you can't do anything about it, right? So this is a correct statement. So how many of the above statements are correct? The answer is only 1A. Okay. Next. Now this is not a question which is conventionally from polity, but remember quite often there are questions in the last 3-4 years coming from legal field, coming from legal awareness. Okay. So this is one of the questions. Probably a lot of news related to these laws are there in the newspapers. So question has been there. So with reference to India, consider the following pairs. So what is the action? Unauthorized wearing of police or military uniforms. So if you know, a lot of news has been reported these days about people being trapped in honey trapping, or people sharing illegal information which is not supposed to be shared, Official Secrets Act being violated. So probably the question has been framed from that background. Unauthorized wearing of police or military uniforms, it is mentioned very clearly as an offence in section 6 of the Official Secrets Act. Okay, so this is a correct statement, correct pair. Okay. Second one, knowingly misleading or otherwise interfering with a police officer or military officer when engaged in their duties. This statement, this matching is not correct. It is not mentioned in Indian Evidence Act. This is again coming from Official Secrets Act section 7. Okay, so these are incorrect pair. Third one, celebratory gunfire. This is a correct pair. This was added through the Arms Act Amendment Act 2019. Okay, celebratory gunfire, we know that Arms Act allows us to have a license of weapons only in self-defense. So many people were misusing that and they were firing gunshots, and it often led to death of some people in that. So as a result, to check that casualty, the government had brought an amendment, and that is a question over here. But it is a relatively old news, somehow it has come as a question. So 1 is correct, 3 is correct, 2 is incorrect. So 2 pairs are correct over here, answer will be B. Okay. So these were the remaining questions which I had to take. Thank you everyone.
So hello, welcome all of you. So I hope this year paper आपका टफ था, फिर भी अच्छा गया होगा, कट ऑफ स्लो जाएगा ही आपका. हाँ, you all must definitely नहीं होता, आप यहाँ पे प्रीलिम्स एनालिटिका जरूर आप एक बार जस्ट गो थ्रू कर लेना, इससे आपको और अच्छे से आइडिया लग जाएगा. Now I'll be discussing question of governance. So 2 questions I'll be discussing of set A. Question number 74. This was rather easier question. ये बहुत ही इजी, बड़ा ही सिंपल क्वेश्चन था कि कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स. फर्स्ट गिवन, द सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप प्रोग्राम वाज ओरिजिनली इनिशिएटेड बाय द स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया. नाउ इट इज सेइंग स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, बट it is clear that the self-help group, this SHG bank linkage program, it was initiated by NABARD in year 1992. So National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. So definitely first statement is wrong. Second, in an SHG, all members of a group take responsibility for a loan that an इंडिविजुअल मेंबर टेक्स. देखो यही कॉन्सेप्ट है सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप का. सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप में क्या होता है? अ ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल, सपोज देयर आर 7 people, they come together and now each and every person is liable. So यहाँ पे क्या होता है? ग्रुप लाइबिलिटी होती है, क्योंकि इफ एनी इंडिविजुअल इज टेकिंग लोन, स्टिल ऑल द मेंबर्स विल बी लाइबल फॉर इट. सो सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप में क्या होता है कि पुअर पीपल, जनरली आप सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप को किससे कनेक्ट करते हो? आप पुअर हाउस होल्ड से कनेक्ट करते हो. सो हियर पीपल दे कम टुगेदर एंड ग्रुप लाइबिलिटी यहाँ पे हो जाती है. ईच एंड एवरी पर्सन इज लाइबल. सो यस, सेकेंड स्टेटमेंट इज करेक्ट. नाउ द थर्ड स्टेटमेंट, रीजनल रूरल बैंक्स एंड शेड्यूल्ड कमर्शियल बैंक सपोर्ट सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप्स. यस, there is a proper report by RBI in the year 2016 supporting it, as well as आपको स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया से लेके इनफैक्ट द बैंक्स लाइक UPI, इनफैक्ट HDFC, they also kind of supported. So now here in this case, second and third statement is correct. So all of you, what will be the answer? Answer is only 2. Now we come to the next question, question number 75. Consider the following statements. Statement first, India's public sector healthcare system largely focuses on curative care with limited preventive, promotive and rehabilitative care. Yes, this is correct, that preventive also, promotive also, as well as rehabilitative care. So first statement, yes, it is correct. Now second statement, under India's decentralized approach to healthcare delivery, the states are primarily responsible for organizing health services. Yes, this statement is also correct. So all of you remember, first statement is correct, second statement is also correct. But now here in this case, is the second statement the correct explanation for the first one? The first one here, it is talking about the system, what it focuses on. And now the second one, it is talking about the authority, the power. Okay. So therefore, yes, though second statement is correct, but it is not the correct explanation for statement first. So I hope this is clear to all of you. So here also the answer will be option B. So all of you, all the very best for the mains. आप अच्छे से तैयारी कीजिए. Be positive and keep smiling.
So hello everyone, let us discuss the question that you all have been waiting for from the Indian polity. With the reference to finance bill and money bill in the parliament, consider the following statements. Now this question is directly from the notes. Just to clarify that in the class notes already I made you write that it is a money bill. Finance bill, if you are interpreting, it is a money bill. There is a confusion that financial bill that we interpret under Article 117 is being asked, but it is the finance bill, that is the money bill that they are asking. Okay, so the first statement here is when the Lok Sabha transmits finance bill, that is a money bill, to the Rajya Sabha, it can amend or reject the bill. No, it is wrong. If you look at the class notes itself, it is clearly written that the Rajya Sabha has limited powers and it can only suggest amendments, it cannot amend the money bill. Now, second statement, when the Lok Sabha transmits the money bill to the Rajya Sabha, it can amend or reject the bill. It cannot amend or reject the bill, it can only make the recommendations. It is correct. In the case of disagreement between the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, there is no joint sitting for money bill. Till this point it is correct, but a joint sitting becomes necessary for a finance bill. Joint sitting is not at all necessary even in the case of the ordinary bill. Forget the finance bill. It means this statement is wrong. So amongst this only one statement is correct. So answer will be A, only one. Okay. Then next question, this question is from internal security. I repeated in the class again and again that the questions or the topics that are the part of mains can be asked in prelims also. The question is from Home Guards. Now, Home Guards are raised under the Home Guards Act and rules of the central government. The Home Guards are raised under the state government and the rules are provided by the central government. It means this statement is incorrect. Second statement, the role of Home Guard is to serve as an auxiliary force to the police in maintenance of internal security. This is right. Home Guards is to serve as an auxiliary force. To prevent infiltration of the international border or coastal areas, the border wing Home Guards battalions have been raised in some states. It is correct. States like Tripura, states like Rajasthan, they have the border wing Home Guard battalions. So in this two statements are correct. The answer will be B, only two. Thank you very much and wish you all the best.
So, our first question is regarding the Vijayanagar Empire, and every time I teach this particular topic, I always emphasize that this is the most important part in the medieval history. And this is a question regarding who among the following of Vijayanagar Empire constructed a large dam across Tungabhadra river and a canal cum aqueduct several kilometers long from the river to the capital city. Answer is Devaraya first. So, this Devaraya first, his period of ruling is 1406 to 1422, and he is the same Devaraya who defeated the contemporary Bahmani ruler Firoz Shah Bahmani. Firoz Shah Bahmani. Clear? So, this answer will be Devaraya first, and in his court there was a Telugu writer called as Srinath. He also lived in his court, and Niccolo Conti, the Italian traveller, visited during the period of Devaraya first. So, answer is, this question was very straightforward and it is a factual question. So, answer is A. The next question is, okay, this is a proof that it has been taught in the class discussion also. You can see here it is written, he built a dam on Tungabhadra river for irrigation. Okay, this has been discussed in the class also. Next question is, Who among the following rulers of medieval Gujarat surrendered due to Portuguese? Okay, Bahadur Shah. Bahadur Shah was an Afghan. Okay. And when Humayun became the ruler, Humayun's period of rule is, just to relate, because history is a subject which has many layers. Okay. So, we have to relate with when Humayun became the ruler, Humayun was ruler in this period. Then Humayun faced threats from two, you can say two Afghan rulers. One was Sher Shah Suri of Bihar, another was this Bahadur Shah of Gujarat. Both were Afghans, and since Mughals had occupied the throne after defeating the last Lodi Sultans, Ibrahim Lodi, who himself was a Afghan, so there had been a permanent or perpetual enmity between the Afghans and the Mughals, and this is the same Bahadur Shah who later lost to Portuguese the fort of this port of Diu, and Portuguese also killed Bahadur Shah and dumped his body in the Arabian Sea. Okay, so 49 answer will be C. Question number 50. By which of the following acts was the Governor General of Bengal designated as the Governor General of India? Answer is Charter Act of 1833. So, Governor General of Bengal becoming as Governor General of India. This was by the Charter Act of 1833, and during that time William Bentinck was already the Governor General of Bengal. His total period is 28 to 35, and we can dissect his period 1828 to 33 and 1833 to 35. So, we can also call that William Bentinck was the first Governor General of India. This Charter Act of 33 made Governor General of Bengal to Governor General of India. It implies that administration was more centralized. Clear? The next question and the last question regarding modern history, this year they have asked only 2 questions from modern Indian history. Here also as a proof you can see administration was centralized, the Governor General of Bengal became the Governor General of India. Okay. Is it okay? So, William Bentinck was the first Governor General of India. This has also been discussed in the class. Clear? So, the next question is regarding 2 statements. 7th August is declared as the National Handloom Day. Second, it was in 1905 that the Swadeshi movement was launched on the same day. The background to Swadeshi movement was the partition of Bengal. The government of Curzon, the Viceroy, Curzon, 1899 to 1905, he was the Viceroy. He had tried to weaken the Bengali nationalism, the rising wave of Bengali nationalism, and to achieve his target, he tried to dissect, or he tried to divide the Bengal. And when this done, when this news came into public domain, when the leaders came to know about it, they started channelizing the energies of the people in launching a movement. That movement is called as Swadeshi movement, and that movement was started formally. Formally, the movement was started on 7th August 1905 from the Calcutta Town Hall meeting, and to mark that date in 2015, you can say, to mark that date, Modi's government or Prime Minister Modi ji had launched this, what you can say, National Handloom Day. So, the statement 1 also you can say provides correct explanation for the statement 2. Is it okay? So, answer will be A. Is that clear? Thank you, class. Okay, thank you.
Hello everyone. So I hope ki paper went well. Interestingly, this year history has almost 13 question, and out of 13 question, you can see the ancient and art and culture has 9 question. And जो भी फाउंडेशन कोर्स के जो भी आप लोग जो भी फाउंडेशन कोर्स में पढ़े हैं उन्होंने ध्यान दिया होगा कि मैं हमेशा कहता था कि इट कैन बी अ रेंज ऑफ 6 to 10, है ना. एंड बाकी चीज़ों तो कि इट मे इंक्रीज, एंड this time it increased. Also there are the number of the questions of the pair 1, pair 2, pair 3 and pair 4. This has been also increased from 8 to 47. So before starting the discussion, because I will not take too much time in the discussion, I will be giving you the answer like this, these and that are the answer. But do not panic. बहुत ज़्यादा परेशान होने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. Cut off will be definitely low this year. Okay, and let's start the discussion now. So the first question in the set A that you can say is in which of the following reason the Dhanya Kataka, which flourished as the prominent Buddhist center under the Mahasangika located. तो basically what they are asking कि धन्य कटका कहाँ पर है. Okay, अब ये देखोगे आप क्वेश्चन तो नोट से है. It can be solved because while reading about the Satvahana, we have discussed about Kataka and Skandvara. Kataka and Skandvara, and these are the military camps or settlements. Okay, so even if you remember this word, because I have explained this in the classes also that Kataka and Skandvara is the military setup, military camps of the Satvahana, and if you can remember this Kataka, then you can answer this one, Dhanya Kataka. Okay, and automatically if this is related to Satvahanas, so Satvahana dynasty is there in Andhra Pradesh, then automatically answer will be Andhra. So it was a question that is directly from the notes, and you can see here, okay, that we have discussed about these things that you can see here, this Kataka and Skandvara. You can see what is written here in the notes also, military camps and the settlement. Okay, so it is directly from the notes. Then with reference to the ancient India, consider the following statement. The concept of stupa is Buddhist in origin, and in each class of the Maurya period, when we start discussing about the art and culture and the architecture related to the stupa, basically we start with that the stupa is not the Buddhist in origin. Rather you can find the similar kind of the stupa that is coming from a Sanskrit word stupa, that is means heap. Now ये कैसा आपका कॉन्सेप्ट था, ये वैदिक ओरिजिन में भी है, यानी कि वैदिक टेक्स्ट में भी है. इवन द स्तूपा वर्ड इज ऑल्सो मेंशन इन द ऋग्वेद एंड द सम काइंड ऑफ द अदर समितास. ठीक है, देन you can also remember the tumulus. Tumulus is also a kind of the stupa that has been found in the Dholavira. Okay, that means the statement 1 is incorrect. Okay, now the second stupa was generally a repository of the relics. Again this is correct. ये तो जनरल स्टेटमेंट है स्तूपा के बारे में. Stupa was a votive and the commemorative structure in the Buddhism. This is also a general statement that we have discussed. Okay, now so answer will be only 2. Okay, अब इसको अगर आप देखोगे तो ये सारी चीज़ अगर आप देखोगे ऋग्वेद में जो नोट्स है उसमें यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है इन द लास्ट की फर्स्ट मेंशन इन द बाय द किंग वरुणा दैट हैज बीन द स्तूपा दैट हैज बीन देयर. ओके, देन इसी में अगर आप देखोगे स्तूपा में जो हमने आर्ट एंड कल्चर के नोट्स हैं, इट इज ऑल्सो रिटन हियर द स्तूपा दैट इज द बेसिकली वैदिक पीरियड. यहाँ पे क्या लिखा हुआ है कि इट इज ऑल्सो देयर इन द वैदिक पीरियड. मे बी इट इज नॉट विजिबल बिकॉज ऑफ दिस साइन, बट इट इज वेरी मच रिटन इन द नोट्स. नाउ the next question is the with reference to the ancient South India. ठीक है, so in the Sangam dynasty we have discussed about the Pandyas, we have discussed about the Cholas, we have discussed about the Cheras. Okay, so in the Pandya I have given you the information about the Korkai, that their port name is the Korkai. Pompuhar, it is also referred as the Kaveri Patnam. Okay, so this is related to the, you can say the Chola Tamil Nadu वाला जो आपका region है. Pompuhar was also in the current affairs, so it is also discussed in the current affairs class. So automatically the answer will be ports. Okay, so obviously these all questions are directly from the notes. ठीक है, अगर आपने notes ठीक से किए होते जो मैं हमेशा से बोल रहा था, then automatically out of 9 question you must have solved easily 5 to 6 questions. Okay, so this you can say important ports. यहाँ पे पुहार लिखा हुआ है. ठीक है, then this you can see here this Korkai is also written. So important ports Korkai, बस इतना ही तो क्वेश्चन पूछा है इसमें. यही तो पूछा है कि Korkai and पुहार क्या है basically. These are the ports. Now the next question is, which one of the following explains the practice of the Vatta Kirutal as mentioned in the Sangam poems? Definitely this we haven't discussed in the class. Instead of this, we have discussed the Virukal and Nadukal. These are the Virukal and Nadukal are related to the warriors who will be performing well for the tribes. Okay? These are the hero, and then after their death there will be the establishment of the megalithic stone basically. Okay? This we have discussed. We haven't discussed this, but अगर उस logic के हिसाब से आप जाओ तो second and third here is almost absurd statement. ठीक है? The doubt can be between the A and the D, and the more probable answer, or you can say the answer is basically D. So when a particular king in the Sangam time period, when he will be defeated, he is going to starve himself for death. ठीक है? So this will be the answer 44 का D. Then 45, consider the following dynasties. Now when I was seeing this question and I am remembering the classes, that in the ancient history I have given you the early medieval dynasty, all the early medieval dynasty with the important points, and in the classes also, in the last class of each you can say foundation batch, I have explained one point, that do not read too much about the early medieval history, just read about their time period and their founder, and you can see the question here. Okay, so question क्या पूछ रहा है? 8th century AD started, early 8th century AD, and you can all see in the art and culture while discussing the Hoysala architecture also I have given you the information that Hoysala is somewhere you can say from the you can say 11th to 14th century time period है. ठीक है? Then Gahilwaz ये आपके कन्नौज से related है. They are related to the कन्नौज. आपने जयचंद के बारे में सुना होगा, related to the basically you can say the पृथ्वीराज चौहान, battle of Chandavar. Okay, when the battle of Chandavar will be there, so इनका जो rule है that is also 11th to 13th you can say, या 12th to 13th century. Okay, so this is also not early, so this is incorrect, this is incorrect. When you will go to the Kakatiya, I have given you the information कि the particular rulership of the Kakatiya is starting somewhere in the 11th century as per the some belief system, because Beta Raja 1 can be considered as a founder, but then the first independent ruler was the Prola 2, and in that case also either Beta Raja 1 or the Prola 2, in any case it will be starting either 12th century or 11th century. Again it will go to the 14th century. Okay? So this cannot be early 8th century. Then Yadavas, and this is also from the you can say almost 9th-10th century to the 14th century. Okay? Yadavas of Devgiri. So none of them has been started in the early century. और मैंने आपको एक चीज़ और बोली थी क्लास में कि जब भी क्वेश्चन आएगा it will not be very close, there will be at least 300 years of the gap, and you can see each dynasty has almost 300 years of the gap. Okay, so this is also again from the notes, and you can see these kind of the notes have been given. Notes में आपको मैंने लिखाया था Hoysala of Darsamudram 11th to 14th century, बस this is the line that you have to remember, and इसी से क्वेश्चन आपका सॉल्व हो रहा है. Kakatiya 12th to 14th century, then Yadavas of Devgiri, again you can see the time period is 9 to 14th century, and then the Gahilwaz of the Kannauj again 11 to 14th century, 12th century के आसपास, because 1194 में Battle of Chandavar में Muhammad Ghori is going to defeat the Jaychand. In that after that the particular dynasty will decline. ठीक है? So this is directly from the notes. Then 46, with reference to the ancient history, consider the following pairs. Devi Chandraguptakam discussed in the class in very much detail, and it was written by the Vishak Datta. Vishak Datta. Okay, and this is the story of Chandragupta, okay, and Dhruva Devi. And in this very much book, there will be the discussion about the Ram Gupta, that is considered as the elder brother of the Chandragupta, will be coming. Okay, कि the particular Chandragupta too killed his elder brother Ram Gupta. And in this discussion there will be the coming the particular you can say the discussion about, or you can say knowledge about the war between you can say the Shaka king and the Chandragupta too. ठीक है? So ये question आपका यानी कि ये बिल्हन ने नहीं लिखा है, it is written by the विशाख दत्त. ठीक है? Then हमीरा महाकाव्य ना हमने डिस्कस किया था ना हमारे नोट्स में है. ठीक है? और ये पॉसिबल भी नहीं है कि that all the text can be remembered. मिलिंद पन्नो, बट ये क्या है? करेक्ट है ये. It is a correct information. It is of the 15th century and it discuss about the Chahamana kingdom. Chahamanas के बारे में बात करता है ये. ठीक है? Then मिलिंद पन्नो also discuss in detail. मिलिंद का मतलब है Menander was a Greek king, and discussion between the Nagsen and the Menander. और उस टाइम पे मैंने आपको बताया था कि remember the term Nagsen and Nagarjun are different. Nagarjun is a person who has given the philosophy related to the Mahayana philosophy of the Buddhism and who has given the शून्यवाद, theory of शून्यवाद, ठीक है, तो वो different है. और ये जो इसका जो person है मिलिंद पन्नो, ये क्या है, मिलिंद पन्नो, the questions of the मिलिंद with the Nagsen, monk Nagsen. So this is also not matched. So this is matching, this is correct. It was written by the Nayachand Suri, Milind Panno, Nagsen, not the Nagarjun. Then the Niti Kavya Amrit. Now this is also Niti Vakya Amrit. This is also correct. Somadeva, it is somewhere written in the 10th century and it is on the line of the Kautilya Arthashastra. ठीक है. So अगर आप इसमें देखोगे तो second is correct, fourth is correct. हमारी नोट्स के हिसाब से या डिस्कशन के हिसाब से क्लास में वी कैन easily guess that one is not matched, two is not, third is not matched. In that case, we can eliminate this one. We can eliminate at least you can say this one, ठीक है, and then we will left to the only one or only two. So 50-50% chances, but in the end we have to take the chances, and in this case answer will be B, that is only 2, because both 2 and 4 are correctly matched. Okay, then this you can see that these are the basically कि ये सब जगह पे लिखा हुआ है. देखो मिलिंद पन्नो नोट्स में लिखा हुआ है क्लियरली, ठीक है, कि मिलिंद पन्नो डिस्कशन किसका है, ये नागसेन का है. दिस हैज बीन देयर इन द नोट्स. ओके, देन बाकी अगर आप देखोगे दिस देवी चंद्र गुप्तकम रिटन बाय द विशाख दत्त. इट इज द ओनली लाइन दैट हैज बीन रिटन इन द नोट्स. ठीक है, देन नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज सोल. दिस इज Jainism and Buddhism with respect to the philosophy discussed in detail, and we have discussed that in the Jainism where the Buddhism doesn't believe in a permanent soul, the Jainism will be believing in the soul, and Jainism will say that the soul is in everything. अब ये जो पूरा स्टेटमेंट आप इसको पढ़ लो, soul are not only the property of the animal and the plant life but also of the rock, running water and many other natural objects. इसका कहने का मतलब क्या है, soul is in everything. That means this is related to the Jainism. सिंपल सी बात है. ठीक है, बुद्धिज्म में तो सोल मान ही नहीं रहा एक तरीके से. दे आर नॉट इवन कंसीडरिंग द सोल इन दैट वे लाइक वी कंसीडर इन द हिंदुज्म और यू कैन से द जैनिज्म. जैसे हिंदुज्म में कैसे मानता है, नैनम छिदंती सस्तानी नैनम दहती पावका न चैनम क्लेद्यन टापो न सोशति मारुता. दैट मीन्स अ परमानेंट सोल. दैट काइंड ऑफ सोल इज नॉट एक्सेप्टेड इन द बुद्धिज्म एट ऑल. ठीक है, सो बेसिकली शैविज्म इज नॉट द आंसर, वैष्णविज्म इज नॉट आंसर, जैनिज्म इज द आंसर. दैट सोल इज इन एवरीथिंग. आंसर इज बी. ओके, this you can see this is the again a cut from the notes, और notes में हमने बुद्धिज्म और जैनिज्म को कंपेयर किया था. उसमें अगर आप देखोगे सोल एक डायमेंशन है और यहाँ पे क्या लिखा हुआ है, नो, while in this yes and soul is in everything. ओके, यही तो आपका आंसर है बस. तो एक एक लाइन में आपको आंसर मिल रहा है नोट से. ठीक है, अब देखो नेक्स्ट वन, विद रेफरेंस टू द इंडियन हिस्ट्री द एलेक्जेंडर रिया द A.H. लॉन्गहर्स्ट रॉबर्ट सीवेल जेम्स वगर्सन. तो ये नोट्स में नहीं है, ये CDS वगैरह में क्वेश्चन आ चुका है. एंड आई हैवंट शेयर्ड इन द ग्रुप ऑल्सो. अगर आप देखोगे मैंने शेयर नहीं किया था, मुझे लगा था कि दिस काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन कैन नॉट बी आस्क इन द UPSC, बट दे हैव आस्क्ड. एंड इसका आंसर क्या है, दे ऑल आर द आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट. ओके, दे ऑल आर द आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट एंड जनरली दे बिलोंग्स टू द साउथ इंडिया में जो भी आर्कियोलॉजिकल जो भी आपका सर्वे वगैरह हुआ था, दे बिलोंग्स टू दैट पीरियड. दैट इज द आंसर, दैट इज ए. देन द लास्ट क्वेश्चन, कंसीडर द फॉलोइंग पेयर्स अगेन डायरेक्टली फ्रॉम द नोट्स. ठीक है, बेस नगर हेलियोडोरस जो कि आपका ग्रीक एक तरीके से है, when he will be coming and he will be establishing a Garuna pillar. Now Garun is related to the Vishnu. Okay, Garun is related to the Vishnu. That means it is a Vaishnav cave shrine, यानी कि किससे, वैष्णविज्म से रिलेटेड है. सो बेस नगर इज नॉट रिलेटेड टू द शैविज्म, इट इज रिलेटेड टू द वैष्णविज्म. ठीक है, इवन अगर आप देखोगे जो हेलियोडोरस था उसने वासुदेवा काइंड ऑफ द टाइटल, वासु भक्त काइंड ऑफ द टाइटल हैज बीन ऑल्सो टेकन. देन भजा वेरी मच इट इज ऑफ अ बुद्धिस्ट केव श्राइन रिलेटेड टू द हीनयाना बुद्धिज्म. ओके, दिस इज इन द पुणे. तो भजा कहाँ पर है, महाराष्ट्र में है. सीतन वसाल अगेन वी हैव डिस्कस इन द क्लास इन डिटेल. ये जैन केव श्राइन है. सीतन वसाल में मैंने आपको एक पॉइंट और बताया था. एंड दिस ऑल्सो यू हैव टू रिमेंबर फॉर द नेक्स्ट प्रिलिम्स. देयर आर द समवसर्णा. नाउ समवसर्णा अगर आप देखोगे ये क्या है, प्रीचिंग हॉल ऑफ तीर्थंकर. So this term can be asked in UPSC. So Seetan Vasal mein there are the mural paintings. Out of that there is also a Samvasarna, that is the preaching hall of the Tirthankar that has been there. बाकी इसकी theme है like the painting में, अगर आप देखोगे painting वाले notes में, so this has been discussed. So अब सीतन यानी कि ये भी क्या है आपका correct है, it is the Jain cave shrine, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है इसमें, तो इसका भी आंसर क्या हो जाएगा only 2. ओके, सो मोस्टली अगर आप देखोगे पेयर 1, पेयर 2, पेयर 3 की तरफ आंसर इस केस में इन द एंशिएंट आर्ट एंड कल्चर इट इज टुवर्ड्स द 2. देयर इज वन क्वेश्चन जहाँ पे नन भी है, दैट इज रिलेटेड टू द डायनेस्टी. सो दीज वर द क्वेश्चन आई गेस ऑफ द. और इसमें अगर आपको देखना है कि नोट से कहाँ पर है, तो देखो ये लाइन लिखी हुई है, हेलियोडोरस ग्रीक एम्बेसडर इन द कोर्ट ऑफ लोकल शुंगा प्रिंस दैट इज भागभद्रा सेटअप अ गरुणा पिलर इन ऑनर ऑफ विष्णु. विष्णु का मतलब ये शैव की साइड नहीं है, ठीक है. सेकेंडली भजा के पुणे हीनयाना फैट, हीनयाना का मतलब बुद्धिज्म. सीतन वसाल, अब यहाँ पे अगर आप देखोगे नोन फॉर द पेंटिंग क्लोज, और इसमें और इन्होंने डिटेल में भी इसको लिखा नहीं है, लेकिन अगर इसमें देखोगे यहाँ पे जैन टेम्पल लिखा हुआ है, ध्यान से देखो, ठीक है. तो यानी कि क्या है, जैन साइट है. तो दिस इज करेक्ट. सो दिस इज ऑल फ्रॉम माई साइड. ओके, दिस इज ऑल फ्रॉम माई साइड एंड आई होपफुली द क्वेश्चंस मस्ट बी करेक्ट इन एंशिएंट एंड आर्ट एंड कल्चर. आगे भी ध्यान रखना कि एंशिएंट एंड आर्ट एंड कल्चर क्वेश्चन बढ़ सकते हैं, ठीक है. इतने तो रहेंगे ही, मतलब आप मान के चलो कि मिनिमम 6 मैक्सिमम 10 फॉर द नेक्स्ट ईयर एस्पिरेंट ऑल्सो. ओके, बाकी डिटेल में डिस्कशन हम बाद में करेंगे. अभी बस मैंने आपको कुछ आंसर्स बताया और थोड़ा बहुत एक आइडिया दिया. ओके, सो होपफुली सारी चीज़ें आपको नोट से हो गया होगा, ठीक है. चलो,
Hello, good evening to all of you. Myself Ayaz Khan, Science and Technology Faculty at NEXT IAS. Today I am here to discuss the questions which have been asked in the preliminary exam 28th of May 2023. I hope you have done well, and I am sure you will come out with the flying colors. And just a brief thing, that if you want to assess that how you are doing in comparison to the other aspirants who have appeared in this exam. So NEXT IAS is carrying out a comprehensive analysis in the form of Prelims Analytica, and there is a QR code available for that. So you can upload your details on that, and then you will come to know your performance in comparison to the other aspirants. Okay, thank you very much for listening me, and now I am going to start the discussion on the questions. See, the first question is there, which is there in the Science and Technology. Was consider the following statement. Statement 1, India despite having uranium deposits depends on coal for most of its electricity production. So this statement is right, that India has around 1% of the global uranium deposits. So it's not that we do not have deposits, but around 60% means slightly less than 60% of the electricity comes from thermal plants which are using coal. So first statement is right. uranium enriched to the extent of at least 60%, at least 60% is required for the production of electricity. This statement is absolutely wrong, because see, Tarapur reactors which are installed, boiling water reactors, they use 2.5 to 3.5% enriched uranium. Jaitapur nuclear power plants which are being given by France, they use 5% enriched uranium. Here the statement is at least, means it should not be less than 60%. So this statement is absolutely wrong. So if you go for this cannot be the answer, this cannot be the answer, this is the answer. So for question number 11, answer is C. I hope you got it. Classroom students, this is the first topic we discuss in the class. After discussing the isotopes of the uranium, the second thing I discuss with you is the uranium enrichment. So I hope you people got it. Now move to the next one. Carbon fibers. So this is question number 53 in set A. Carbon fibers are used in the manufacturing of components used in automobiles and aircrafts. This statement is absolutely right, basically because see, carbon fibers are used in making composite materials. Composite materials. So composite materials, and composite material, that is also known as fiber reinforced plastic. Fiber reinforced plastic. Even Vande Bharat train, if you see, a big part of the Vande Bharat train is made of the composites. Aircrafts, around 80% of Airbus 380 is made of the composite material. So this statement is right. Carbon fibers once used cannot be recycled, cannot be recycled. This is wrong. They are recyclable, they can be recycled. So statement 2 is wrong. For 53, answer is A. Okay, so this was again a fairly easy question. So science tech, you are getting it right. Now that move to the next question, number 56. This was bit tough, but then if you see here, this is wrong, and this is right, and this is the question, this is the topic I discuss with you when I discuss the gravitational waves. Those of you who have done the classes, gravitational wave and LIGO topic, pulsars come over there. Chalo. Basically here, nebula, this is right, Cepheids, this is right. So Cepheids, basically these are stars which brighten and dim periodically. Bright, dim, that is Cepheid. Nebula is a giant cloud of dust and gas in space. So first and second are wrong. Statement number 3, if you people have done, pulsars are a type of neutron stars. Now what is neutron star? Neutron star is that where the severe compression of the matter takes place and the electron and the proton combines to form the neutron, and a type of a neutron star is a pulsar. That neutron star which is beaming the electromagnetic radiation is called pulsar. So here only this is right, that means only 1 for this particular question. So let's move further. Question number next. Which one of the following countries has its own satellite navigation system? So when we discussed IRNSS, I told you quasi-zenith. Open the notes. Quasi-zenith is of Japan. 4 satellites. So here I told you India, US, China, Russia, Japan, and then one more, Europe. So Australia is not the answer, Canada is not the answer, Israel is not the answer, Canada is the answer for question number 57. Name is quasi-zenith, which is having 4 satellites. Then question number, this is it, and very soon we will provide you the others also. You can see this. Oh, come on. This is the first topic I discussed with you in the space module. Ballistic missiles are jet propelled, sir or ma'am, if you are attending this. Ballistic missiles are based on rocket technology.
तो फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट ही गलत है. While cruise missiles are based on jet. Okay, so this is wrong. Agni 5 is a medium range supersonic cruise missile. Come on, Agni 5 is a ballistic missile. While BrahMos, come on, BrahMos is a cruise missile. So this is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. So this cannot be the answer. This cannot be the answer. This cannot be the answer. This is the answer. Question number 58. Answer is D. So now let's move further. With reference to green hydrogen, a green hydrogen classroom students, तुम्हारा एक भी गलत हुआ, So this is not done with you people. Green hydrogen, this I discussed with you, all of you. It can be used directly as a fuel. I have made you write in the class that hydrogen and CNG can be mixed. So first is 18% hydrogen and remaining CNG can be mixed. It is used in hydrogen fuel cell where hydrogen combines with oxygen to produce electricity, and it can be used directly as a fuel for internal combustion engine. When it is being mixed with CNG, it is going in the engine, and that is it directly. No, please do not interpret it that only it, that can also be used. So here all three are correct. All three are correct. Now come to the next one. This is a generic question. With respect to coal-based thermal plants, power plants in India, consider the following statements. None of them uses seawater. See, if they would have said that none of them uses seawater in the boiler, then that statement could have been right. But seawater can be used as a coolant. So this statement is wrong. None of them is set up in water stressed districts. They are in water stressed district. Privately owned, come on, I told you ultra mega power plant are owned by the private sector. So here answer is none. Water is used as a coolant, they are in water stressed districts, and private sector, they are having captive power plants, and there is ultra mega power plants. If you remember the clean coal technology which I discussed with you, there I told you that three are owned by Reliance and the one is owned by Tata. So this is statement, you can easily get it eliminated. So question number 66, then come to the next question, question number 67. Okay, Wolbachia, GM mosquito class, do you remember? Wolbachia is a bacteria. This bacteria, it's a bacteria. Which was used for infecting female Aedes aegypti. And Aedes aegypti is a mosquito. If you remember this one, it is a mosquito. अब मुझे बताओ कौन से में? There is only one option which is having mosquito. Aedes aegypti, chikungunya, dengue, Zika. All three are viral diseases. Directly from the class notes. Again, Wolbachia is a bacteria which we use for infecting the mosquitoes so that there is no growth of the virus in their body. Okay, and that mosquito which is infected with Wolbachia is Aedes aegypti, and that is used for controlling, that can be used for controlling chikungunya, dengue and Zika, and all these three are viral diseases. So answer A. Question number 68. This is based on carbon capture and sequestration. In this question, this was expected because there was a policy which was coming on the carbon capture, utilization and storage. So which of the following, how many of the above activities are often considered and discussed for carbon capture and sequestration? So sequestration means the removal of the carbon dioxide, spreading finely ground basalt rock on farmland. So this basalt rock absorbs the carbon. Anything which absorbs the carbon is a sequestration. So this is right. Increasing the alkalinity of ocean. So if you increase the alkalinity of ocean to maintain the pH, there will be absorption of the carbon dioxide. So again, sequestration. Carbon dioxide released by various industries and pumping it into abundant mines. So that, if you remember, this particular thing was discussed where liquid ammonia was used. Liquid ammonia was used to capture the carbon dioxide and it was then stored. So here the answer is, in this case the answer is going to be only 1, only 2 and only 3. So it is, this will be all 3. The answer will be all 3 in this case. As far as I will go for this. The answer is going to be all 3 are correct here. All 3 are correct. Then question number, this thing, 69. Aerial metagenomics. Aerial metagenomics, this was out of a blue question, but it was in news in I think February 2022. In February 2022, you know, generally such things, every year 1 or 2 questions this type comes, but that's okay. Metagenomics, aerial means air, meta means across the species, genomics means studying the genome. Okay, so anything where we try to collect the DNA present in air in a particular area, is called aerial metagenomics. Now look at the options. Collecting DNA samples from air in a habitat at one go. Habitat. Now in a habitat there could be obviously multiple species present. Understanding the genetic avian species. No, we are not talking about avian species. Okay, so this is not. It is about analyzing the DNA and collecting that DNA in the air. Using airborne devices to collect blood samples, no, that is also not the answer. Sending drones to inaccessible areas to collect plant and animal samples, no. So answer is A. You could have applied common sense. Aerial means air, metagenomics means across the species collecting the DNA. And when you are going to a habitat, you will not find one species, you will find multiple species. So answer for this question is 1. A, that is A. Then microsatellite DNA, microsatellite DNA. DNA fingerprinting, those people who attended the class on DNA fingerprinting. DNA fingerprinting. Microsatellite is that part of the DNA which repeats throughout the genome, throughout the DNA. And it is used for the identification purpose. अब इतना भी तुम्हें याद है, identification purpose. Okay. So stimulating stem cells to transform, sorry sir, I am not talking about stem cells here. Promoting clonal propagation of horticulture, come on. In DNA fingerprinting, do we discuss horticulture? कि गुलाब का पौधा कैसे लगेगा, आम का पेड़ कैसे बनेगा? Okay, efficacy the drugs, come on. DNA fingerprinting में ऐसी कोई बात हुई थी? No, none of them. Answer left is A. So yes, in some questions elimination has worked, and those questions were from science and technology. If you are not knowing, you are knowing microsatellite was discussed in science and technology in the context of DNA fingerprinting. See, this much of presence of mind we need to have. Then you could have got the answer of this question. But then I know exam pressure is a different ball game. Now come to the next question, question number 99. Green hydrogen. Take out the notes, you people. Did I not make you write the name of these 3 industries? Okay. Here I made you write even green hydrogen consumption obligation. That government in future will ask the fertilizer industry, iron and steel industry and the oil refineries to consume a certain percentage of hydrogen as the green hydrogen. So answer is all 3. So barring this aerial metagenomics, and one more, that is you can say this thing, carbon fiber, but that was a very generic question. And then one question about nebula and Cepheids, and 2 statements in carbon sequestration. All the questions from science and technology were from the class notes. Okay, and given the trend of the paper, these 9-10 questions can make a huge difference to your results. So wish you all the best for your mains and see you. Now we have the PPTs of the class notes, you can see that. See nuclear energy, you can see these are the class notes, this is uranium enrichment. Question number 11. Okay, so you can see uranium enrichment, it is used for peaceful purposes. Okay, that's it. Then after that, if you see another question, rocket jet, you can see here, Agni, Prithvi, ballistic missiles, rocket, cruise missiles, jet, it cannot get better than this. Okay, then come to the next one. Okay, then see you. Other questions as well. If you see here, GM mosquitoes, if you see, alternative is Wolbachia bacteria, Wolbachia, it's here. Okay, and if you see, carbon nanotubes, carbon nanotube, composite material, you see here, carbon fiber question. Missiles, ballistic missile, rocket technology, Agni is a type of ballistic missile, अभी बताया.
Hello everyone, I hope that all of you did well in your prelims examination, and paper pattern was a little bit different as compared to previous years, but I think that serious candidates who have studied the basic concepts well, they have done good. And even if you don't feel confident enough that you have marked sufficient number of questions, don't worry, because it is a competitive examination. If the paper was tough, it was tough for everybody. If it is easy, it is easy for everybody. So all the time in all the years, the best candidates, they are always selected. Just don't lose hope. I have received some phone calls कि sir अच्छा नहीं हुआ, तो उसे tension मत लो. Let us just see the cutoff of the UPSC. Maybe the cutoff can change. Maybe it can go up and down. So don't worry about that. Now let us discuss a few questions about science. See, question number 18. Question number 18. So, if you see here, it is about the microorganisms. We discuss in the science classes, we discuss the basic types of 5 kingdom classification, and in that we discuss that prokaryotes is one of the kingdom. Within the prokaryotes, there are only few organisms. For example, bacteria. In the class I have already told, एक तो bacteria होता है, फिर cyanobacteria. ठीक है. I have also told one more organism which is called archaea. And I told in the class कि archaea जो है, it is an old type of bacteria. It can survive in harsh conditions. So all of these statements are true because these are related to archaea. Archaea is a type of it is also called as archaeobacteria. Earlier it was known as archaeobacteria, but now there is a difference in the classification. But it comes under the prokaryote. It does not have nucleus like the bacteria. It only and it does not have cell organelles. So archaea can survive in boiling water, and it can survive in low pH. There are many places in the on the earth, for example Yellowstone National Park, where there are natural geysers where the temperature is more than 100. There are many places in the earth, permafrost, where the soil is completely frozen throughout the year. So there also the bacteria is found. Okay. So these bacteria can grow in below the freezing point of water, above the boiling point of water, and they can also grow in less than 3 pH. Okay. So for example 2.5 pH, we have found bacteria. We have found bacteria in minus 10 degrees Celsius. We have found bacteria in 120-140 degrees Celsius temperature also. So archaea was the key here. Okay. So even if you don't know, then just see the statement of the question. Some microorganisms, and some microorganisms. When they are saying some, so they are asking ki in the entire group of microorganisms, are there anybody who can survive this? So just by seeing the language of the paper, you can attempt this question. Okay. So all of them are correct. Okay. All of them are correct. Okay. Let us move to the next question. Now this is a very basic concept regarding accelerometer. Accelerometer is a device which is used to measure acceleration. And how does it measure acceleration? Basically, there is a Newton law. Newton का second law जो आपने पढ़ा था, force is equal to mass into acceleration. So whenever there is acceleration in any object, तो accelerometer works on the principle कि when there is acceleration, there is a force which is applied. Okay. So that accelerometer measures the force. How does it measure the force? It uses a piezoelectric material. Piezoelectric materials are those which produces electricity when force is applied on them. Okay, pressure is applied on them. So they use piezoelectric materials. Whenever there is an acceleration, so they experience a force, and the force is measured by piezoelectric. So wherever there is a change in the velocity, these accelerometers can measure the acceleration. For example, when a car is about to crash, at the time of the crash, there is a huge deceleration, that is change in the velocity, that is detected, and airbags are automatically deployed. This is true. In your laptops also these days, the hard disks have a protection mechanism. If the laptop is falling suddenly, so there is a huge acceleration, and in a free fall, the acceleration is equal to acceleration due to gravity. At that time, it detects the acceleration and switches off the hard disk. Okay. So that it is not damaged. This is also true. And obviously in your smartphone there is accelerometer. You can detect the tilt, you can detect the motion, you can detect the GPS also works on this principle. It uses some of the accelerometers. So smartphones also have this. So this is a general question regarding the possible applications of a technology. From the previous trends of the UPSC, if you see, whatever the possible, whenever there is a question ki what is the possible applications of these technology, generally the answer is all of the above. Okay. Generally, in the past they have asked about what is the possible applications of AI, what are the possible applications of drones. Here they are asking what is the possible applications of accelerometer. So if you just know the basic concept of accelerometer, then you can say कि यहाँ पे सब जगह we can apply the accelerometer. ठीक है. So all of the three are correct here. Now this is a good question. This is basically related to biofilters. ठीक है. You have all read about nitrogen cycle. ठीक है. So basically the fish in the ponds or the aquaculture, it produces a waste, and generally the waste is in the form of the ammonia. For example, our urine also, it contains some kind of nitrogenous waste. So there are bacteria which converts these ammonia into nitrite and then nitrates. ठीक है. Ammonia, it is converted into nitrite. It is converted into nitrite, and then it is converted into nitrate. ठीक है. ultimately this is the form. So this is NO2 minus, this is NO3 minus. Okay. So nitrosomonas and nitrobacter, these are the two bacteria. Basically they convert ammonia into different forms. These two are toxic and nitrate is not toxic for the fish. So basically in biofilters what we use bacteria which can convert ammonia into nitrates so that the water is purified and the fish do not face toxic environment. Okay. So this is basic part of the nitrogen cycle. They provide waste treatment. Okay. They can also decompose organic waste. For example, if you add food for the fish and some of the food are not consumed, so they can degrade that food material. And you can see a pattern over here in the last mains also. They asked how is cellulose decomposed by the microorganisms, and here they are also asking about using bacteria to decompose the waste. So basically UPSC is using or identifying those areas in which bacteria or microorganisms are used to degrade the waste and clean the environment. So bioremediation, mycoremediation, these kind of questions are there. They convert ammonia to nitrate. ठीक है, जो fish waste में जो ammonia आता है उसको nitrate में convert करते हैं. This is also true. This is also true. Now consider this. They increase phosphorus as a nutrient in the fish. That is not correct. ठीक है. Increased amount of phosphorus in aquaculture can lead to the growth of bacteria and algae. For example, algal bloom or harmful bacteria can grow. So we don't need large amount of phosphorus in the aquaculture. Okay. You must have all read about eutrophication, okay, algal bloom. So phosphorus in large quantities can lead to algal bloom and growth of microorganisms. So this is not a desired thing. Okay. And also we design the biofilters so that they either reduce it or do not have any effect on this. So they cannot increase it, and moreover it is not a nutrient for the fish, it is nutrient for microorganisms. If there is more phosphorus, then more microorganisms, more algae will grow. So either from this word increase or as a nutrient for fish. Okay. Either from both of these words you can say that this is not correct. They don't increase also, and this is also not a nutrient for fish also. It is a nutrient for microorganisms. So therefore this statement is incorrect and only two are correct. Okay. So these are the questions. Now isme let me just give you one more thing, that from general science a lot of questions have been asked, in the base, general science form the base of other subjects. For example, the longitudinal and transverse wave questions were also there. Okay. So I hope that if you understand the basics of the science, then you can clear all the questions. Okay. No questions is out of bounds. If you understand the basics, ultimately the questions are easy. And science and technology, they are such subjects where you can score good marks. If other subjects were difficult, so these subjects were doable. Okay. These were very easy. So I wish that all of you clear prelims and then prepare for mains. We will be always there to help you in the mains, and you can also check out your performance in the prelims analytica. The link will be given in the description box below. Okay. Thank you. Thank you everyone.
Going live? Audible? Perfect? Okay. Hi students, this is Alok, Ranjan. We have been talking in the cabin with my colleagues, my friends, and everyone is saying that geography has got enough number of questions this year. It's very satisfactory. So when you work, when you teach, and then most of the questions are coming from your class notes and the kind of effort you have put in my classes, then it's always delightful. Somewhere down the line we get the maximum work satisfaction. Congratulations all the geography optional students, because you have You know, a minimum we have direct questions, 18 questions from geography, 18 to 20. It may vary because some of the questions overlaps with science. Some of the questions are overlapping with economics. Some of them will be like taken in the environmental section. So overall, again, the total impact of geography will be for 35 questions. Again, 35 questions. Now I can promulgate today that almost 20 questions are directly from hardcore geography. So there cannot be any debate this year that how many questions have been asked from geography as a discipline, as a subject. Even I have been telling my students all the way around on my YouTube channel also that geography is going to create great impact in your success. The reason being, geography, science and maybe environment, these three combined actually gives you 35 questions every year. The same trend, same pattern has continued. Now I will be discussing with you 5 questions and rest of the questions will be discussed with my colleagues. So can we have the question here on the screen? Okay. So this is the first question which I would like to discuss with you. Which one of the following is the best example of repeated fall in sea level? Fall in sea level, your static change in the sea level. Now your static change means the volumetric change in the sea level. Now how to solve this question? So Vitarkanika and all these places you must be knowing. This was in news also. Now Pada swamp was in news also. In Hindu newspaper it was on 21st. I remember that day also. So it was, there was an article on it. But the question is about the fall in sea level giving rise to present day extensive marshlands. So along the coastal area where all these marshlands exist, where all the mangroves are found, marshlands are basically the tidal forest areas, the intertidal zones, the areas which have been covered by the, the invasion of the sea. So these marshlands in this particular question has to be adjusted on the basis of the repeated sea level changes. Now I want to tell you something about Indian geography. Few things you need to understand, because when the Himalayan formation was taking place and the Indian plate collided with the Eurasian plate, the Arabian Sea has undergone subduction. So when the Arabian Sea subducted, that is one event. Second, the peninsular plate has tilted eastward and little northeastward. So that is phase 2. And then third phase will be creation of a fault line along the western Ghats. So there are 3 phases of subduction along the western coast of India. So in this particular question, when you see this particular term repeated fall in the sea level, it is definitely referring to the western coast of India. And in the western coast of India, Rann of Kutch is the biggest marshland. This area is marshy, it's a salt marsh area. ये सबको पता होता है. So the correct answer will be Rann of Kutch, which has undergone 3 phases of submergence, emergence, submergence, emergence and submergence, emergence again. This Rann of Kutch area is basically extension of the Aravalli ranges, Aravalli formations, and it is also considered the edge of the peninsula. And this has remained as an island for a certain period of time because this river, Indus River was flowing in Gulf of Cambay. So this Gulf of Kutch, this Rann of Kutch was basically an island for a certain period of time. And this is how the history goes about Rann of Kutch. So my optional students must be remembering it from the classes that this is how the formation has taken place. So sometime the questions in geography have been asked with much deeper geological analysis. Now let's go to the second question. Okay, ऊपर करना है क्या? Second question. Now from marine resources, this topic is from oceanography, from marine resources. And in marine resources, I have always made a very special mention, a very special point about the Malabar coast. That Malabar coast is having monazite sand, that's one. And go and see my notes, you will always find that I have always mentioned that ilmenite has highest concentration along Malabar. And ilmenite is the ore of titanium. So you can get that question from my notes itself. So all these two questions have been trapped from our classes. And that is what gives me the maximum excitement about this paper this year. Maybe the era of geography is returning back, and probably geography students will be able to make another great breakthrough in PT again, because every year 2,500 students are qualifying from geography optional. However, the number of people appearing with geography optional is very less. So their strike rate is very high. Almost out of 5 or 4 students applying for prelims, they have geography, and one is qualifying out of the 5 or 4. That's 20-25% strike rate is for geography. Now this is the question number 3, which I would like to explain it to you. About 3/4 of world's cobalt, a metal required for the manufacture of batteries for electrical. So this is not a science tech question, because some of you may just get confused that it is talking about use of the cobalt and all. Don't get carried away here. Simple question is that where this cobalt is found. Who is the largest producer of cobalt in this world? Answer could be between B and C. This question, why I said B and C, because we have Katanga Plateau, which is extending into Botswana as well as DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, in the Botswana side, you have more of diamond, kimberlite rocks are found. But you have in the northern part, that is your DRC, the Congo, the previous Congo, Zaire, previous Zaire, जिसको पहले Zaire कहते थे. So in that part of the Katanga Plateau, you have more concentration of cobalt, and metalliferous minerals are much more. So this unique plateau must be learned in world regional geography. My question number 4, it's about the soil. The soil in tropical rainforest is rich in nutrients. Tropical rainforest, एक छोटा सा concept है कि in the tropical rainforest, when it rains heavily, the soil is highly leached. And the leached soils are acidic soil. And leaching, what is the meaning of leaching? Leaching means the downward filtration of the nutrients, colloids, maybe the clay material, that is called eluviation, however. But colloidal solution is moving downward. So that is called leaching. So soil of the tropical rainforest will be leached soil, acidic soil. So there are no chances of it is having nutrients. Second is the high temperature and moisture of tropical rainforest cause dead organic matter in the soil to decompose quickly. Not at all. They do produce organic matter, but all the organic matter, most of it, 99.9% of it, will be consumed by the bacteria. Bacteria decompose because the bacterial activity is very high, because it is hot and moist. So both these statements will be wrong. They are absolutely wrong. These questions are very simple, not so difficult. Now this question was again being debated whether it is a science tech question. Not at all. Because this question talks about seismograph, and obviously earthquake and seismograph has to be in geography, and you will find that in all my class notes, this even the material which is printed and provided to you, this question is typically there. This question is found everywhere. This could be the easiest question. So first it says, in a seismograph, P waves are recorded earlier than S waves. Yes, of course, because P wave has an average velocity of 11 kilometers per second, and S waves have velocity of 5 kilometers. It is less than half of the velocity of the P waves. So obviously, statement 1 is correct. Now statement 2, the P waves, the individual particles vibrate to and fro in the direction of wave propagation. मैं तो यही language भी use कर रहा था class में, if you remember. Because, and this is correct, P waves, the individual particles, meaning energy particles, vibrate to and fro in the direction of, because they are longitudinal waves. So wave direction के parallel movement होता है. and S waves are transverse waves. So the particles will vibrate up and down at right angle to the direction of the wave propagation. है ना, perpendicular होता है इसका movement S wave का. So these are the questions which have been probably assigned to me, and again congratulations, because all the geography students must be very elated and very delighted today. This was your year. Do well, all the best. Thank you.
Hello friends, so now the Indian Geography section. The first question of Indian Geography here, consider the following statements. The Jhelum river passes through the Vular lake. That is one of the easier statement, that Jhelum, a famous river of Jammu Kashmir, that is passing through the Srinagar city as well as the Vular lake. It is feeding to the Vular lake. Western river, even one dispute, Tulbul navigation, and this is correct statement, the number one statement here. Even in any question through the map also you can judge here. For example, in the map here, it is the Jhelum flow, and here Vular lake, here Srinagar, then this river is going to Pakistan, like that. So this statement is correct. Second is Krishna river directly feeding to the Koleru lake. A Koleru lake is freshwater lake that is in Andhra Pradesh between the Krishna and Godavari, but is mentioned here directly feeding. So here you have to check that, suppose you know the area of the Koleru lake, a famous freshwater lake. This side the river Krishna coming from Mahabaleshwar, this side the river Godavari coming from Trimbakeshwar, and finally in between that, in deltaic area of, between these two rivers, some small streams are feeding. It is mentioned here directly. So this is wrong here directly. So number two statement is wrong. And third, the meandering of Gandak river forming the Kamar lake or Kabartal lake. Kamar lake remained in the news because of the Ramsar site. And Kamar lake in Begusarai, the river Gandak is meandering, and Oxbow lake. And you know that suppose any river is like Himalayan river, once come to plain area becoming slow, and it basically take the meander. And when meandering is more, intense meandering, then certain times river cut off, and river once cutting off, then this kind of isolation, this water is remaining, stagnant water, the lake formation Oxbow lake. A good example of Oxbow lake, that is the Kamar lake, Kabartal lake, recently remained in news. That is correct statement through the result of the meandering, intense meandering made by the Gandak river in Bihar. And that is the 1 and 3, the right. So two options are correct, B only 2. So whenever you have any doubt, then you may also make one diagram, and through that you may recall also. And second question here, the ports, transportation, and these ports, some options are given here, Mundra port, also the Visakhapatnam port, Kamarajar port. In case the statement you just check here, Kamarajar port, that is a kind of port renamed, and earlier the name was Ennore port, north of the Chennai, Ennore port. So another name north of the Chennai, suppose in the map here it is here the Chennai, north of Chennai the Ennore port or Kamarajar port. It is the 12th major port in India, and this port was the first private port, a company. So this statement is registered as company, it is correct here. Before that the ports were under the Major Port Trust Act 1963. And second is the Mundra port. That is the famous port of India of the Adani Group, recently remained in news a lot, one of the rising port and one of the largest port of the India, busiest port of the India, very close to Kandla port, and that is in this region of Gujarat here. And this Mundra port, of course, is the largest privately owned port of the India. Though Krishnapatnam and many more ports running by Adani Group and private group, but this is the, of course the biggest port. It is competing with JNPT and Kandla or many major port of the India. And this is correct, but as far as third part is concerned, Visakhapatnam the deepest major port, but as far as here mentioned largest container port, that is JNPT in recent times. And then if it is wrong, then 2 are correct here, so only 2 pair the B option. And as far as the third question of this part, consider following trees, natural vegetation base, forest base question here. And here you see that one tree is given jackfruit, one tree is mahua tree, one tree is also given here the teak tree. Teak is very famous deciduous plant. And even before, I think last year one more question on the deciduous tree, sal, teak, shisham, sandalwood, the famous deciduous plant. Even mahua, maximum trees of the India deciduous. So mahua and teak both are famous deciduous, but as far as jackfruit is concerned, jackfruit or kathal is requiring high rainfall, that is the evergreen species, and that is a wrong statement here. So number 1 is incorrect, so only 2 options these are, so these are the only 2. So these are correct, B option. And next question, India has more arable land than China. Arable land or cultivable area or kheti yogi zameen, that we call that cultivable area. Fortunately, due to Gangetic plain and also you can say the eastern coastal deltaic area plus even the Gujarat plain, we have large agricultural land in India. And of course, India is worldwide famous for agricultural land. Only one country has more agricultural land than India, that is USA. China, actually, we consider that China has large agricultural land, but in China, 2/3 area of China, Xinjiang province, Tibet province, New Mongolai province, and also Manchuria region is largely very cold desert kind of area, not so much agriculturally potential area, but this part of the China where Yangtze river or Wango river on this side, this 1/3 area of the China is better one. So in China and India, once we compare that India has more agricultural land, so statement 1 is correct. As far as second statement is concerned, the proportion of irrigation area is more in India as compared to China. Surprisingly, in recent times, India has increased the irrigation area, though medieval time also, ancient time also, even British time, canal irrigation improved a lot, later on tubewell irrigation, and even number of other kind of irrigation, tank irrigation, and more than you can say, large area of the India, more than 50% area has become now irrigated. So continuously increase we are observing, and in this very regard, in recent time, India has more land under irrigation than China. It is one more milestone. So this statement is also current affairs based, and that is correct statement 1 and 2. As far as the third part is concerned, the average productivity per hectare in Indian agriculture is higher than that in China. Actually, here we are slightly lagging still, and you know the reason that as far as productivity is concerned, production per unit area, the quality of the seed, lack of research, and many more things are coming up. Here we have to rectify in agriculture, and agriculture productivity is less. That's why China, despite a smaller area than India in agriculture, in rice number 1, in wheat number 1, India is second largest producer. So average productivity is lesser as a whole, India and China, so it is a wrong statement. So only 2, here also B option. And as far as the next question is concerned, question number 9, consider following statements. Amarkantak hill are at the confluence of Vindhyachal and Sahyadri. Amarkantak in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh border. Amarkantak Biosphere Reserve. Amarkantak is holy place. River Narmada westward flow, river Son is northward flow. So Amarkantak, Sahyadri means Western Ghat. So this is wrong. So here you note very well that as far as Indian map is concerned, then Amarkantak where one side the Vindhyachal, this side Satpura, easternmost part of Satpura, the Amarkantak in Maikal range. So that is incorrect. And Bli, Giri Ranjan hills constitute the easternmost part of Satpura range. Actually, if you don't know this BG hill or Bli Giri Ranjan hill, that is in Karnataka actually, And this hill, if you don't know where it is one, but it is mentioned here easternmost part of Satpura. Easternmost of the part of Satpura is Amarkantak, Maikal range. So Satpura, Rajpipla, Mahadev, Maikal, and Maikal or Amarkantak, the easternmost part of the Satpura, Amarkantak. So this is the wrong, and that is in Karnataka. But Sheshachalam hill constituting the southernmost part of the Western Ghat, again Sheshachalam hill famous for you can say red sandal, Lal Chandan, and even this famous Sheshachalam also the Biosphere Reserve, and this hill a famous hill of the Eastern Ghat in Andhra Pradesh. Sheshachalam, Palkonda, Velikonda, Nallamala, all are the part of the Eastern Ghat. So Sheshachalam is also wrong statement here. That is not at all part of the Western Ghat. Southernmost part of the Western Ghat is Cardamom Hill, that is going up to Tiruvananthapuram and the Kanyakumari. So this statement is also wrong. So all three, none of the above, the option should be there, D option. And next here, even in the classroom part, it is mentioned here. And if we say that with reference to the India's projects on the connectivity, consider the following statements. And this is again the transport infrastructure based questions now coming up. And one question, East-West corridor under Golden Quadrilateral project connects the Dibrugarh and Surat. You must be trying your best making the crude map, and in that crude map you know that as far as Indian map is concerned, a famous Golden Quadrilateral project is there, North-South corridor connecting Srinagar to Kanyakumari and Silchar to Porbandar, the East-West corridor. But this East-West corridor, if I say here, then it is Silchar here and Porbandar here. Silchar to Porbandar, if you go like that, then it is not at all having any connectivity to Surat. Surat is southward, a city on the Tapi river. So this particular corridor is not having any connectivity to Surat. Surat on this side and Porbandar on this side near Dwarika, Porbandar. So Silchar to Porbandar, if you draw this line, it is not at all having any connectivity to Surat. So this one is wrong statement. And as far as trilateral highway connecting More in Manipur and Chiang Mai in Thailand via Myanmar, it is very famous corridor, India, Myanmar, Thailand corridor, IMT corridor. And you know in the northeastern area here we have More, but it is going through the Mandale in the Myanmar and finally to Mae Sot. Very famous statement that IMT corridor, trilateral corridor, More to Mae Sot. Mae Sot is very close to Myanmar border, but this statement here mentioned Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai is more southward and this side here in Thailand. So this corridor is only up to here. So as far as this part is concerned, it is also wrong information given here. And third is Bangladesh, China, India, Myanmar economic corridor. Actually, China tried the best that India must be a part of the BCIM corridor, Bangladesh, China, India, Myanmar corridor. And this corridor was purposefully mentioned by that, okay, this is the Kolkata port, and then through Kolkata port, this BCIM corridor involving the Bangladeshi area, and finally with Indian northeastern area, then going to Kunming, K2K, Kolkata to Kunming. But here it is mentioned Varanasi. So BCIM corridor is not involving Varanasi, rather Kolkata to Kunming. Kolkata, the port of the India, and Kunming in southern China. So it is also wrong statement. So 1, 2, 3, all three are wrong here, and none of the above, the D option. So thank you very much. Hope you the best to get the accuracy more, but definitely the tough paper is there. In tough paper we need not to worry, we have to prepare for mains examination. And these questions I would suggest again that mapping you have to do little bit to get better accuracy. Thank you so much.
Hello friends, hope you did well enough to clear the prelims examination. The content of the questions was not very difficult, but the structure of questions made them difficult. So this year, based on my analysis, we can say that the cutoff will be slightly lower than previous year. So if you are scoring anywhere more than 80, you can start your preparation of mains examination. Now here I will discuss the questions of climatology and world geography which were asked in GS paper 1. So the first question is, which one of the following is a part of Congo Basin? Congo Basin that lies in Central Africa and it is drained by Congo River and its tributaries. Cameroon is the correct answer. Cameroon is part of Congo Basin. The other countries like Nigeria, Nigeria is part of Niger River Basin. Actually, Niger River makes delta in Nigeria. South Sudan and Uganda, they are part of Nile River Basin. So Cameroon is one of the country which lies in the Congo River Basin, along with Central African Republic, Democratic Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Gabon. All these countries are part of the Congo Basin. So question was relatively simple. Anyone who practiced the world map would be able to clear this question. The next question is about the countries which surround the Ukraine. Ukraine is surrounded by Bulgaria. It's incorrect. Bulgaria is south side, so it's quite far from Ukraine. Czech Republic, no, there is a country Slovakia which lies between Czech Republic and Ukraine, so it is also incorrect. Hungary is one of the country which has border with Ukraine. Latvia and Lithuania, they are part of Baltic countries, so they are quite far from Ukraine. And Romania is another country which has border with Ukraine. So Romania and Moldova, they have border with Ukraine. So in this question, Hungary and Romania, these are the two countries which share border with Ukraine, correct? So the answer will be only 2. A is correct answer for this question. So again the question is simple and it was also predictable. Ukraine-Russia war, in my world geography classes as well as in current issues classes, I had clearly mentioned that this area, the mapping of this area is very important for prelims examination. So as expected, there was a question from this area. The next question is, with reference to Earth's atmosphere, which one of the following statements is correct? So this is the question of climatology and some science is also there. So it's a kind of interdisciplinary question which involves some knowledge of, some basic knowledge of science. As I always emphasize in my climatology classes, the science of climatic and weather phenomena may be asked in examination. Okay. So the first statement is, total amount of insolation which is received at the equator is roughly about 10 times of that received at the poles. This statement is incorrect. At equator, the total amount of insolation is around 320 watt per meter square. That's the value of insolation near the equator, whereas value of insolation near the poles is around 70 watt per meter square. So you can see it's around slightly less than 5 times. It's not 10 times, it's 5 times. So equator receives around 5 times more insolation than the polar areas. So first statement is incorrect. And you can easily get these figures from heat budget of the earth. Second is, infrared rays constitute roughly 2/3 of insolation. As I told you in my classes, incoming solar radiation is mainly composed of short wave radiation. Infrared rays, they are long wave radiations. They have long wavelength. So it's definitely incorrect. So infrared rays, they are long waves. they are basically part of terrestrial radiation, not incoming solar radiation. So this is again, incorrect. Very small portion is infrared ray portion. C is infrared waves are largely absorbed by water vapor that is concentrated in the lower atmosphere. This is correct statement. I told you earlier in my classes that the water vapor is capable of trapping both short waves as well as long waves. So a major portion of terrestrial radiation, which is in the form of infrared rays, is trapped by the water vapor present in lower layers of atmosphere. Correct? So that is correct statement. And the D is again incorrect. Infrared rays, they are part of visible spectrum. It's incorrect. You must have studied in your school days, in fact in the science technology classes also, that visible spectrum has 7 colors, Vibgyor formula. So microwaves, infrared rays, they have longer wavelength than the visible rays. So this is also incorrect statement. So in this question number 62, the correct answer is that infrared waves are largely absorbed by water vapor that is concentrated in the lower layers of atmosphere. So again, this question was relatively simple, not very simple, but difficulty level was moderate. Okay, some science was there. If you had idea about, the heat budget of Earth as well as, radiations, you could have tackled this question easily. The next question is, consider the following statements. The first statement is, the temperature contrast between the continents and oceans is greater during summer than winter. This statement is incorrect. Why it is incorrect? During summer, the continents are hot and oceans also are relatively warmer. Although oceanic temperature is relatively lower than the continents, but temperature difference, let's say highest temperature of continent is, let's say 50 degrees Celsius. Correct? Although average temperature over continent in summer is 30 to 35 degrees Celsius only. Even we take highest value, then during summer the continent temperature is, let's say 50 degrees Celsius. Over ocean temperature during summer varies from, you can say 20 to 30 degree Celsius. So the difference is around, you can say 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. That's the temperature difference between land and sea during summer season. Now let's talk about winter season. During winter, what happens? The continental areas, they become very cold, especially the high latitude areas. So minimum temperature over continent may be minus 70, minus 80 degree Celsius during winter, whereas oceans are relatively warmer. So over ocean, the temperature during even winter is maybe like 10 to 20 degree Celsius. So here you can see during winter, the temperature difference between land and sea is more than 80 degree Celsius. That's why this statement is incorrect. So thermal contrast between land and sea is relatively higher during the winter season in comparison to summer season. Second statement, that is very simple, I had mentioned in my classes. The thermal difference between land and sea is mainly because water has higher specific heat than the continental rocks. So because of higher specific heat, the rate of change of temperature is relatively slower over the water surface than the continental surface. That's why continents record extreme temperature, whereas oceanic areas record moderate temperature. So this statement is correct. First statement is incorrect, second statement is correct. So what is answer? D will be the answer. D is the answer for this question. First statement is incorrect, second statement is correct. Now the next question is about geopolitical, events, the political geography. Here you have to match the places and countries. North Kivu and Ituri, they are the places, they are the regions in, you can say the Central Africa region, the Democratic Republic of Congo. That area has North Kivu and Ituri. And I had discussed this part in World Geography. I told you that Kivu is a lake which is part of East African Rift Valley. Correct? So on the basis of that knowledge, you could have clearly identified that this area is not in the Armenia and Azerbaijan. So first is incorrect. Nagorno-Karabakh, as I told you in world geography classes as well as in current affairs class, that Nagorno-Karabakh is a region which is disputed between Armenia and Azerbaijan. So it's not the region where of insurgency in Mozambique. This is also incorrect match. Third is Kherson and Zaporizhia. Kherson and Zaporizhia, they were in news during Russia-Ukraine, clashes. So these are the places in Ukraine which were in news in the last few months due to, Russian bombing and all that. So Kherson and Zaporizhia, they are in the Ukraine. So this match is also incorrect. So basically in this question, all the three matches are incorrect. So the correct answer is D. None is correct. And again I am saying this part, all the three areas, they were discussed very clearly in the world geography classes. So those who attended my world geography classes, they could have easily cracked this question. Okay, see, you can see the Nagorno-Karabakh. This is the slide from my current affairs class, and I had clearly mentioned Nagorno-Karabakh. Not only Nagorno-Karabakh, I had also talked about, other areas, like you can see in this slide of prelims specific class, Zaporizhia is here, and that is basically part of Ukraine, correct? So all these areas, they were already discussed in current affairs class as well as world geography class. Next question is about again political areas and countries. Donbass, it's a region of Ukraine, eastern region. It's basically the basin of Don River, Don Basin. So Don River Basin, that lies in eastern part of Ukraine. Donbass area has been captured by Russia from Ukraine, correct? So that's why it was in news. So it is not in Syria, it is in Ukraine. Again, this pair is incorrect. Second is Kachin. Kachin is basically the area in northern Myanmar. And this area is very often in news for insurgency. In fact, in this area of, like Kachin area of Myanmar, the rare earth elements are also illegally produced and they are exported to Myanmar. So this part, about Kachin, I had discussed in my world geography classes. Tigray, about Tigray also I had discussed in world geography. Tigray is in northern Ethiopia. It's basically conflict-ridden region in Horn of Africa. So Tigray is in Ethiopia, Kachin is in Myanmar, Donbass is in Ukraine. Again, all the three pairs are incorrect. So Donbass is not in Syria, Kachin is not in Ethiopia, Tigray is not in northern Yemen. So again, the answer is none. So all the questions which I had discussed here, they were from my climatology and world geography classes. The questions were quite predictable and quite easy. Thank you. Best of luck for your examination and hope you succeed in this stage of examination and prepare well for the mains examination. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I hope all of you are doing good after the examination. Whatever the degree of difficulty you may have found, please remember it's for everyone. Let's go into the questions. What are the questions here? One is consider the following statement: marsupials are not naturally found in India. Marsupials, those like koalas or kangaroos, that is, marsupials are not naturally found in India. So this is correct, not naturally found in India. Marsupials can thrive only in the mountain grasslands with no predators. This is wrong. They do have some predators, and as well as they are also found in the different type of other habitats. So it means this is marsupials are not found in India, means this is correct, not found in India, naturally not found in India, and marsupials can thrive only in mountain grasslands with no predators. So this is incorrect. So first statement is correct and second statement is incorrect. What is the question here? Which of the following is correct in respect of the above statement? So one is correct and second is incorrect. The statement 1 is correct, but the statement 2 is incorrect. The answer would be C. Next is, consider the following fauna. How many of the above are generally nocturnal or most active after sunset? So mostly they are active during night time or after sunset. Long-tailed macaque is principally diurnal, so it is not nocturnal. Malabar civets are nocturnal, and as well as sambar deers are also nocturnal. So answer is 2 and 3. Question is how many of those pairs? Only 1, only 2. So 1 and 2. That answer will be only 2. Next is, which of the following organisms perform waggle dance? Some out of the box question was there. Waggle dance for other of their kins to indicate the direction and the distance to a source of their food. The answer to this is honeybees, they do this. Next is, consider the following statement. We have seen this question already in the current affairs class also. Some mushroom have medicinal properties. Yes, we talked about some names also. Some mushroom have psychoactive properties. Yes, some mushroom have insecticidal properties. Yes, and some mushroom have bioluminescent properties also. Yes. So all those 4 statements are correct. How many of the above statements are correct? All 4. Answer would be this. Next is, consider the following statement regarding the Indian squirrel. They build nests by making burrows in the ground. They generally make the nest on trees. So that one statement is incorrect. They store their food, they hide sometimes their food under the ground, in the ground like nuts and seeds. That is correct. And they are omnivorous. Most of such kind of animals like humans and primates and such other squirrels, etc. mostly they are omnivorous. So they are omnivorous. So this is also correct and this is also correct. One is incorrect. Only 2 pairs are correct here. One is incorrect. Next is, which of the following makes a tool with a stick to scrape insects from a hole in tree or log of wood? Some of the classes we have seen, that is orangutan, which does this using a tool. Number of different type of tools used by the orangutans when we are talking about the primates. So next is, consider the following. We have seen when we are talking about the HFCs, hydrofluorocarbons, the various uses of the ODS, ozone depleting substances, example aerosols, foam agents, fire retardants. We have written all those 3 names along with the other names like refrigerants, etc. primarily. I have not seen any use of lubricants. So based on whatever information I do have, right, this aerosols, foam agents, fire retardants, which we have seen in the class, answer should be 1, 2 and 3. Lubricants, we do have a synthetic lubricants, but generally I have not seen any use of HFCs taking place there. Theoretically it may be there, but I'll go for the 1, 2 and 3. However, generally in such questions we have seen in the past, UPSC has gone for all of the above. In any research paper, some formulations, if they have been existing somewhere, may be there, but I have not generally seen HFCs being mainly used as lubricants or in the manufacturing of lubricants. So aerosols, yes, we have seen, foam agents we have seen, fire retardants we have seen. Answer should be only 3 pairs are correct. The following statement, however the question was wrong, it was framed wrong way, but still nonetheless, this also we have covered in the class. Minamata Convention on mercury we were talking about. We have seen the 2 big sources of mercury emission. We have seen in the class that the artisanal small scale gold mining is the biggest source of mercury pollution, mercury emission, and as well as the coal based thermal power plants are the biggest source when it comes to the India and the China. Especially in Asia we are talking about, and both have come in the first and the second point. Gold mining activity is a source of mercury pollution in the world. Yes. Coal based thermal power plants causes mercury pollution. Yes. And there is no known safe level of the exposure to mercury. It's a general statement. There is no such point that if you are exposed to the mercury, generally it is safe. So there is no such known safe level. So answer should be 1, 2 and 3. Sometimes some standard, some data may be given, but generally from the general statement point of view, we can accept the statement as true that there is no known safe level of exposure to mercury. So 1 is correct, 2 is correct, 3 is correct. Answer should be all 3 are correct. Next is, consider the following statement. In India, we have seen this Biodiversity Management Committee. I gave you a PDF. We have covered the Biodiversity Act 2002. In that, National Biodiversity Authority, State Biodiversity Board, and as well as the Biodiversity Management Committee, which plays an important role in implementing the Nagoya Protocol, that is fair, and equitable sharing. Access and benefit sharing, we have seen, right, access and benefit sharing, fair and equitable sharing of benefit arising from the use of genetic resources. So in India, the Biodiversity Management Committee are key to realization of the objective of the Nagoya Protocol, ES, one of the bodies created under the Biodiversity Act 2002. Biodiversity Management Committee have important functions in determining access and benefit sharing, including the power to levy collection fees on access of biological resources within its jurisdiction. This line verbatim we have written in the class, that including the power to levy collection fees on the access of biological resources within its jurisdiction. For this, I gave you that one PDF which we discussed through the PDF area. But there is a one point in this, Biodiversity Management Committee has important functions in determining access and benefit sharing. Now, point is over here is how the statement has been interpreted. If it is interpreted as this is one of the function where the Biodiversity Management Committee determines the fair and equitable sharing, then this is wrong. This power has been given to the NBA. NBA determines the fair and equitable sharing. But if it is interpreted in this way, that the Biodiversity Management Committee have important functions in determining access and benefit sharing, it means it is contributing in determination of fair and equitable sharing, which is done by the NBA. Consultation is taken from the Biodiversity Management Committee also. It contributes with the help of the preparation of the People's Biodiversity Register, which will be having an information with respect to the local biodiversity. It contributes in that way. So, if technically taken that way, then the answer may be National Biodiversity Authority, which decides the determination, which decides the access and benefit sharing principle. But if we see the statement in totality as a 1, then it appears to be the correct statement. So, generally you should go for 1 and 2, both 1 and 2. If they interpret it otherwise, then in place of Biodiversity Management Committee, for this part is 100% correct, but in this part it is a matter of interpretation of this term, that is determining, functions in determining. So, it is contributing in determining, then it is there, but if it is taking a decision on its own, then it is not there, then the answer will be NBA, National Biodiversity Authority, but generally you will go for both 1 and 2. These are some of the questions from the environment. Thank you very much for listening to me. Please take very good care of yourself. Whatever performance you have had, generally cutoffs in comparison to the previous year may be on a lower side. So, just have a proper assessment and take some rest and focus on future. Thank you very much.
गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन. सो आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड द पेपर इज टफ. आप लोग सोच रहे होंगे कि कैसा पेपर आ गया, बट दैट्स फाइन. इट इज़ टफ फॉर एवरीवन, सो यू डोंट नीड टू वरी अबाउट इट. ऑल्दो आई एम गोइंग टू टेक अ पोर्शन ऑफ करंट अफेयर्स, एज यू ऑल नो दैट आई टीच करंट अफेयर, but most of the questions of current affair have already been covered in the static portion only. We are left with few questions in the last, and now you might have all calculated your marks by now. Only 6 questions, 7 questions are left. So let's start with question number 13. Question number 13 is invasive species specialist group. उन्होंने यहाँ पे मेंशन भी किया है that also provides you the invasive species database or global invasive species database, and a very simple factual question that who releases, basically which organization it is associated with. So the answer is again a very factual one. So IUCN is the answer. So correct answer would be A over here, right? If you remember why this question has come up, we have discussed in the class about the Lantana camara and all those invasive species in Coimbatore and Kerala area, and that is why the question has come. In that very article they have mentioned this organization name and the IUCN over there. Simply a line was there and the question has been asked, right? If you move ahead, question number 51. Again something from the schemes. So we have discussed many such schemes in the classes, right? So scheme is about the Janani Suraksha Yojana. Janani Suraksha Yojana is an older scheme,
although not that much in the news, but the question has been framed over here. So first statement is, it is safe motherhood intervention of the state health departments. This is under National Health Mission, right? So this is wrong over here. It is basically under National Health Mission, right? So first statement would be wrong. The second is, its objective is to reduce maternal and neonatal mortality among poor pregnant women. So that statement is correct. यहाँ पे I know there can be a doubt with respect to poor, but the scheme focuses on this, and it basically has bifurcated the reasons in the basically your low areas or where the institutional deliveries are lower than 25%. So they are the LHCs and your high areas. So they have bifurcated it into two places, right? So this statement is correct, and this is the objective actually. It aims to promote institutional delivery among poor pregnant women. So as I was telling you that it focuses on that only, institutional deliveries, और areas भी उसी तरीके से focus किए गए हैं इसके अंदर कि कहाँ पे आपकी 25% से कम है institutional deliveries, कहाँ पे ज़्यादा है, so that कि हमारे इंडिया में overall अगर हम देखें तो institutional deliveries को increase कर सके. So that statement is also correct. Its objective includes providing public health facilities to sick infants of up to 1 year of age. That statement is wrong. एक इसी के साथ सिमिलर स्कीम लॉन्च की गई थी, दैट वाज योर जननी शिशु सुरक्षा योजना, राइट? सो द वर्ड शिशु इज इंपॉर्टेंट. वो दोनों सेपरेट स्कीम्स हैं. दे वर लॉन्च्ड वेरी क्लोज एंड it is very confusing, and that is why they have taken a statement from over there. So that statement is not part of Janani Suraksha Yojana. So the answer will be two statements. And now, as we all know what UPSC has done in most of our questions, I think around 40 such questions. So they are asking ki kitni statements theek hai. They are not asking which statement is correct. They are asking how many are correct. So answer will be B over here, that only two statements are correct. Moving to the next question. Next is your question number 52. Again a scheme or basically an intervention that has been, or a strategy that has been adopted by India, that is Anemia Mukt Bharat, right? Anemia Mukt Bharat strategy. If you guys have seen the budget of this year, they have talked about sickle cell anemia, or a strategy to basically focus on sickle cell anemia, right? This was basically a strategy that focused on 666, where we have 6 beneficiaries, right? They have categorized children, women, pregnant women and all in 6 different categories with respect to age group and all. Then there are 6 interventions. Out of these 6 interventions, they have provided you 3-4 interventions over here, and they are asking which of the interventions is a part of this Anemia Mukt Bharat strategy over here, right? So the first statement over here is, it provides prophylactic calcium supplementation for preschool children, adolescents and pregnant women. So if you guys remember, अभी जब हमने क्लास में fortified food की बात की थी, so वहाँ पे recently there was an article in the Hindu also, which was talking about fortification and the reason why it should be calcium and iron, oh sorry, not calcium but iron and folic acid fortification is required for pregnant women and lactating mothers, right? So यहाँ पे जो calcium दिया गया है, that is not correct. The intervention that is there is with respect to iron and folic acid, right? Iron and folic acid. Although calcium is being given in this for basically focusing on the children to prevent them from fluorosis, जो आपको fourth statement में यहाँ पे दिखेगा, right? So the fourth statement over here, it addresses non-nutritional causes of anemia in the endemic pockets with a special focus on malaria, hemoglobinopathisis and fluorosis, right? So that statement is correct. This is one of the interventions. Now what about statement 2 and 3? It runs a campaign for delayed cord clamping at the time of childbirth. So this is again one of the interventions out of the 6 interventions, although it is not complete statement, but half statement is also correct, right? क्योंकि ऐसा होता है. So they are basically running a campaign of behavioral change, right? And behavioral change, and in that only they focuses on cord clamping during the time of childbirth. So this statement is correct. Then the third statement is, it provides for periodic deworming to children and adolescents. That is also correct. Deworming is also one of the interventions which is done biannually and twice a year at that time, 10th of February and 10th of August. So it is done twice and it is done periodically. So that statement is also correct. There are 2 other interventions that are there, right? जैसे कि iron and folic acid provide कराना, fortified food provide कराना. So that is also there. So if you see in this question, they are giving 3 statements correct, and again the options are in the same manner. So the answer would be C over here, right? So I hope that you people were able to solve these questions correctly, and all the best for your results. Thank you.
So good evening everybody. We are going to discuss question number 76. So the question number 76, it is also in the form of statements. यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं statement 1 says, according to UN World Water Development Report 2022, India extracts more than a quarter. क्या हम 25% से ज़्यादा withdraw कर रहे हैं? Of the words groundwater withdrawal each year. So approximately 26% of the water is something that we are withdrawing. So statement 1 यहाँ पर correct हो जाता है. But in statement 2 they are saying that how we are using or utilizing this much water. It says India needs to extract more than a quarter, means whatever we are withdrawing, that we are withdrawing for what purpose? To satisfy the drinking water and sanitation needs of 18% of the population. देखो, if you read the second statement, if you read the percentage, it seems to be right, because approximately we are supporting 17.7% population, but are we withdrawing the entire water or the entire composition of the water merely to satisfy the drinking needs or the sanitation needs? Answer is no. ठीक है, because 80% of the water that we are withdrawing, that we are using for irrigation purpose. वो हम किसके लिए यूज कर रहे हैं? We are using the same for the irrigation purpose. So second statement will be incorrect. The first statement will be correct. Answer यहाँ पे क्या हो जाएगा? C will be the correct answer. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. चलिए next question को देखते हैं. Next question is question number 84. Now this question was from the magazine. यहाँ पे देखिएगा, the first statement, once again two statements are there. The first statement says one of the standard sizes of national flag. India yearbook में भी you will be able to find this question, and even in your magazine this question was there. One of the standard size of national flag is 600 mm, 400 mm. एक बार second statement को देखते हैं. The ratio of the length to height, that is 3:2. Ratio is correct, 3:2. हो सकता है you are aware about the ratio, or on the basis of that knowledge you will say this is also in the same ratio, that is 3:2. But when we talk about the standard sizes, there are specific sizes which are in the ratio of 3:2 but not necessary in the same mm. So second statement is correct, but when we talk about the standard sizes, which I am going to show you on the next slide, there is no standard size like this. 600 mm into 400 mm, that size is not available. ठीक है, so first statement will be incorrect, second statement will be correct. Answer यहाँ पर क्या हो जाएगा आपका? D will be the correct answer. Statement first is incorrect, statement 2 is correct. यहाँ पे देखिएगा standard sizes are given in your magazine. यहाँ पे देखिएगा. So 225 into 150, 450 into 300. These all sizes are the standard sizes and they are in the ratio of 3:2. ठीक है. लेकिन let's go back to the question. Question was saying 600 mm, 400 mm. In the flag code of India, there is no such size. अगर आप देखेंगे यहाँ पे 600 into 900 है, 1315 into 900, 450 into 300, they all are in the ratio of 3:2, but this particular 600 mm, 400 mm, that thing is not available. ठीक है, so first statement will be incorrect, second statement will be correct. और यहाँ पे हमारा आंसर क्या हो जाएगा? D will be the correct answer, because statement 1 जो है हमारी incorrect हो जाती है as per flag code of India. Yes, the statement number 1, it is satisfying 3:2, but that is not the standard size of the flag. चलते हैं next question number 95th के ऊपर. There are 4 statements given, and I understand काफ़ी सारे questions के अंदर there were multiple statements, and that's why your paper became very lengthy. First statement says Major Dhyanchand Khel Ratna Award. Now explanation of the award is given. Now this is given for spectacular and outstanding performance by a sports person over a period of last 4 years. Second says Arjuna Award. Arjuna Award for the lifetime achievement by a sports person, द्रोणाचार्य अवार्ड एंड राष्ट्रीय खेल प्रोत्साहन पुरस्कार. देखो इस तरीके के क्वेश्चन के अंदर सबसे पहले तो वी हैव टू फिगर आउट द मोस्ट ईजिएस्ट ऑफ द पेयर्स. यहाँ पर सबसे आसान पेयर था द्रोणाचार्य अवार्ड. टू ऑनर द एमिनेंट कोचेस वी बेसिकली गिव दिस अवार्ड. ठीक है, सो ये तो हमें पता है कि एक स्टेटमेंट तो कम से कम हमारी ठीक हो गई, बिकॉज दिस टाइम एलिमिनेशन मेथड डिड नॉट हेल्प दैट मच. कम से कम ये पता है कि एक स्टेटमेंट तो हमारी करेक्ट होगी. नाउ when we talk about Major Dhyanchand Khel Ratna Award, so there are 2 types of Major Dhyanchand Award. First is Major Dhyanchand Award and the second part is Major Dhyanchand Khel Ratna Award. Major Dhyanchand Award is given for the lifetime achievement in the sports field, जो कि किसके आगे लिखा है, अर्जुन अवार्ड के आगे, ठीक है. So this pair will be incorrect because this particular award is given for this particular purpose, ठीक है. There is another thing, Major Dhyanchand Khel Ratna Award, which is correct, which is given to some of the best of the sports person who performed pretty well in last 4 years, ठीक है. तो first आपका जो पेयर है that is correct, third pair is correct. Now let's talk about the fourth pair, राष्ट्रीय खेल प्रोत्साहन पुरस्कार. इसके आगे क्या लिखा है, to recognize the contribution made by sports person even after the retirement. Now यहाँ से देखने से लग सकता है प्रोत्साहन की बात हो रही है, तो हो सकता है रिटायर्ड लोगों को दिया जाता हो, but that is not correct because in this particular category it is given to the people who are working in the private sector and the public sector, ठीक है. Let's say some people are working in ONGC, some people are working in let's say MP police, Haryana police, they also participate. रेलवेज में कुछ लोग काम कर रहे हैं, they also participate in sports and they perform pretty well. वहाँ पर राष्ट्रीय खेल प्रोत्साहन पुरस्कार को दिया जाता है. तो यहाँ पर ये जो पेयर आपका ये भी इनकरेक्ट हो जाएगा. करेक्ट आंसर विल बी ओनली 2 पेयर्स आर करेक्ट, द फर्स्ट वन एंड द थर्ड वन. चलते हैं यहाँ से लास्ट क्वेश्चन के ऊपर. उससे पहले दिस क्वेश्चन वाज आल्सो देयर और दिस पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक वाज आल्सो कवर्ड इन द मैगजीन. यहाँ पर वेरियस अवार्ड्स होते हैं, द्रोणाचार्य अवार्ड, ध्यानचंद अवार्ड, राष्ट्रीय खेल प्रोत्साहन पुरस्कार, अर्जुन अवार्ड, मेजर ध्यानचंद खेल रत्न अवार्ड, ये सभी यहाँ पर कवर किए गए थे. लास्ट क्वेश्चन नंबर 96, ये किसको लेकर है, ओलंपियाड 2022 को लेकर. इन द मंथ ऑफ जुलाई अगस्त दिस ओलंपियाड वाज कंडक्टेड इन चेन्नई, तमिलनाडु के अंदर इसे कंडक्ट किया गया था. 4 स्टेटमेंट्स आर देयर एंड वंस अगेन द ऑप्शंस आर वेरी ट्रिकी. It was first time the chess Olympiad was held in India. So this statement is correct. पहली बार ये इंडिया के अंदर किया गया था. एंड ऑफिशियल मैस्कॉट जो था दैट वाज थम्बी, जिसको साउथ इंडियन अटायर ही पहनाई गई थी. दैट इज ऑल्सो करेक्ट. नाउ थर्ड एंड फोर्थ स्टेटमेंट को अगर आप देखोगे, द ट्रॉफी फॉर द विनिंग टीम इन द ओपन सेक्शन इज द वेरा मैंचिक कप. नाउ दिस इज बेसिकली द नेम ऑफ द लेडी हु वाज द फर्स्ट विमेन चैंपियन. शी वॉज द फर्स्ट विमेन चैंपियन. इनके नाम पर जो ट्रॉफी रखी गई थी वो विमेन सेक्शन की थी, और जो ओपन सेक्शन की आपकी ट्रॉफी थी दैट वाज हैमिल्टन रसल का. ठीक है, सो ये इंटरचेंज करके दिए गए थे. सो थर्ड एंड द फोर्थ स्टेटमेंट्स दे वर इंटरचेंज्ड, हाउएवर द फर्स्ट एंड द सेकंड स्टेटमेंट्स दे वर करेक्ट. तो आंसर यहाँ पे क्या हो जाएगा, हाउ मेनी स्टेटमेंट्स आर करेक्ट, ओनली 2 स्टेटमेंट्स आर करेक्ट. सो आंसर विल बी बी हियर. So I hope you guys have performed pretty well. I would say just focus on the mains examination now, and एक बार कट ऑफ ज़रूर देख लीजिएगा अपनी. And from my side I'll say all the best to all of you and just give your 100% for the mains examination. Thank you.